And welcome back to another beautiful morning in Campbellville, Ontario. We are at Woodbine Mohawk Park, our final weekend for the Rookie Showcase. And we've got Colts on display here this morning, both Trotters and Pacers. A look at the current conditions. Overcast, but the sun is actually starting to peek out now. Temperature quite comfortable, creeping up close to the 20-degree mark, just ideal for morning qualifying action. Wind, not much of a factor, and a fast oval here over the 7/8 mile oval at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Again, welcoming everybody tuning in today across North America, worldwide audience online today. Greg Blanchard, John Rallis at the desk with you this morning, and Mark McKelvey will describe the action. A busy day today. And we had our first look, John, last night at our first two-year-old pari-mutuel races of the year. You were working your first assessment.
Yeah, there were some really good performances. I think what we've seen were some performances that we expected, and one that flew a little bit under the radar, one that we didn't expect. So I think Kyle Fellow's obviously sending out a couple of horses that expected would be sharp in first asking, and that's exactly what they showed. I'm Sweet on Lou, as well as 360. Those two were really impressive, but Trash in Your Dreams. That one, the moment J.R. Wright lined him out of fifth, he made up a lot of ground, and that was a really impressive effort for Gaetan Herbert's charge.
Yeah, and that one had only qualified once,
Yep.
and didn't show, anything too crazy in the overall speed department, but did have a kind of a sneaky good qualifier, really good last quarter, and I think just a good reminder of what we're going to see probably today and what we've seen in the last couple of weeks. These morning races, they're all about experience. Don't, bank too much on whether they won or not, or, how many lengths they won by, anything like that. Just look at the individual efforts of these horses, and if you can read between the lines a little bit, sometimes you can come up with a horse like that at first asking.
Yeah, without a doubt, We Want Easy, who was in that same race, obviously a son of Perfect Sting, he dominated in his qualifying effort, got the job done by, I believe, 13 lengths. He just didn't bring that same level of pop. It was a good qualifying effort, but that Gaetan Herbert charge showed a little bit more. And again, as you mentioned, it's not about how they do it, how much they win by. It's about who's got the most go in some of those morning preps. And there's a little bit more beneath the hood sometimes with some of these
That's
youngsters.
Right. So we've got Colts on display today. The fillies took center stage here yesterday. A busy session, 14 races in total for the rookie qualifiers yesterday morning. Here's a recap, a snapshot of what took place yesterday. The fastest winner on the program was Monte Carlo, out for a second qualifying effort. A 54-2 winner for that filly pacer. Song from Heaven was the fastest on the trot, first to break 2 minutes, I believe, in qualifying action so far for the babies. 58-4 was a really sharp-looking winner. Blake McIntosh, he was busy again, and he had a productive morning. 4 training wins. Doug McNair on the driving side steered home 5 winners. I believe he had 4 or 5 winners here last night.
Yeah,
as
he had
well
5
in the program.
just in 5 drives, too. So he won all 5
Wow.
of his drives last night, so making the most of his limited steers.
So 10 wins total on the day for him right here at this venue. And as in terms of winning stallions yesterday, Cattle Wash led the way. He had 3 winners. And then veteran Better's Delight had a pair. Newcomer King of the North with 2, and Green Manalishi with a pair of winners. They kind of led the way on the stallion side. Here's what we can expect here this morning. So as we mentioned, Colts back in the spotlight today. We've got 13 races, so it's going to be another busy session. And here's how the split's going to work. We've got 8 racing event for Pacers, and we've got 5 for the Trotters. Amongst all the starters today, 49 of them are returning. They've already faced the starting gate at least once. 39 first-timers, too. Always fun to get our first look at the horses, while others today will be looking to maybe step up their speed. And the fastest qualifying rookie before yesterday returning is Free Agent. He was a 56-1 winner a couple of weeks ago, so he'll be back for his second qualifier here this morning. And I would call a day like this, or at this stage now, John, for a lot of these Colts, moving day. If you want to use the golf analogy. Now it's time to step up the speed and really, truly get ready for that pair mutual debut.
Yeah, and you were talking about obviously some of these horses that are going to be making their qualifying debuts. I think none more we're excited to get a chance to see than Mascarpone, one that you obviously saw firsthand at the London Classic Yearling Sale, one that caught Doc's attention, and one that we'll be talking quite a bit about. So I'm really intrigued to see what that Stun of Stay Hungry can show in his debut this morning.
Yeah, I know last year at the Yearling Sale, in terms of looks, he was kind of a standout. People were buzzing on viewing day about this horse and what a great looker he was. And there was Ian Moore going in. He was the only Stay Hungry in the sale and able to pluck him for $80,000. So we'll get our first look at him here today. Nice group of pacers here in qualifier number 1. And among the starters, among the 4 horses that are making a second appearance behind the gate, T.H. Theo, the number 5. And this one is the full sibling to the $177,000 winning T.H. Check Me Out. Nice pedigree here.
Yeah, and I thought that was a solid, showing there in qualifier number 1. Nothing flashy, but definitely one that needed an experienced tightener under his belt. And I think this is one that we're going to see take another step forward here tonight.
Sadie Juice on screen, your number 2, one of the first-timers in the field. We've got 2 of the 6 that are going to be making their debut today. This is a homebred daughter of Cattle Wash, first full from the state treasurer mare Avonlea Sealster. Dale Devine, the breeder, he's the owner and does the training on Sadie Juice. Going to have Trevor Henry in the bike here this morning. There's a look at the aforementioned T.H. Theo. Also a son of Cattle Wash. 3 Cattle Washes in the group. We've got a Bulldog Hanover first-timer, too. That's, I think, worth a look here. $28,000 London Classic purchase, and that's the one Lions Alpha. Second full from Coppa Plea. A nice mare that had first full, who was a 54-4 winner.
And some pretty good family lineage here for Lions Alpha. So this is definitely one that, just based on the lines, looks to at least hopefully have a pretty good showing in its career.
Kenny Oliver trains that one, and Scott Coulter over here this morning to get the drive on this one from post position number 1. Other first-timers last week. So T.H. Theo, we talked about that one. Guitars and Tiki Bars. Love the name. Now, this one didn't qualify here. Did qualify at Grand River. Finished 6th there. Herb Holland trains that son of Huntsville. It's Kevin next door to that one, another from the Blake McIntosh barn. Qualified here on the 12th, second by 10. This is one that you'd look for a big step up from today.
And the one that he finished a runner-up to last time out, Go Gadget, one that we're going to get a chance to see later on. I mean, that was a really, really impressive qualifying showing. So I think it's Kevin, as you mentioned, probably can take another step forward here this morning. And like you said, you want to see them just kind of improve from qualifier 1 to 2.
For sure. Yankee Scout in the same boat. That one will occupy post 6, one of the Anthony Beaton Brigade here today. He'll be busy this morning, and Yankee Scout's a son of Bulldog Hanover, one of 2 by that stallion competing here this morning. So our first field of the day, first of 13, getting set to go postward. A 6-pack of pacers, and to call the action again this morning, here's Mark McKelvey.
All right, thank you very much, Greg and John, and a good morning to everybody as we continue on with the Rookie Showcase. These 2-year-old qualifiers, this is one of the maybe the busiest weekend we will have. 14 yesterday with the fillies. Now it's time for the boys to show what they've got. We got 13 here this morning as mentioned, and let's formally, from the inside out, meet the field here for qualifier number 1. A field of 6 kicking off with Lions Alpha. That'll be our rail starter. Lions Alpha is a Bulldog Hanover colt. That was a London Classic purchase for $28,000. Ken Oliver trains. Scott Coulter does the driving. Number 2 is Zadie Juice, a Cattle Wash colt for owner, breeder, trainer Dale Devine. In the sulky is Trevor Henry. Number 3, Guitars and Tiki Bars, a Huntsville colt for Herb Holland. Louis Waugh gets the driving assignment. This was a Harrisburg purchase for $40,000 US. Next will be the 4, It's Kevin, a Cattle Wash colt. London Classic grad at $17,000. Blake McIntosh trains. Tyler Borth in the sulky. 5 TH Theo, Cattle Wash Colt. Greg McNair trains. Doug McNair drives. This was a Harrisburg purchase for $150,000 US. And on the outside is number 6 Yankee Scout. Lexington Select purchase for $50,000 US. Trained by Tony Beaton. The driver is James McDonald. Field of 6 for our first qualifier here today. They're off and pacing. Wad takes a look to his right as Guitars and Tiki Bars strides out confidently and gets to the rail. From the outside comes Yankee Scout, looking to move up to the lead, as it's Kevin will get down to the inside there third. Flanked by TH Theo, who will yield into the 4-hole, 2 lengths better than Zadie Juice. And Lions Alpha rounds things out as the 6-pack make their way to the opening quarter. It's Yankee Scout, Bulldog Hanover Colt in front for James McDonald. Opening panel 30-3. So Yankee Scout will swing us into the backside. 2-length advantage here on Guitars and Tiki Bars. Another couple lengths then to It's Kevin in third. Racing along in fourth, TH Theo. Then going back to Zadie Juice and Lions Alpha. Yankee Scout swings away up front, leading it by close to 5. Yankee Scout, the son of Bulldog Hanover. Back in second is the Huntsville Colt Guitars and Tiki Bars. Then in third, putting in some tough steps there, that is It's Kevin, the son of Cattle Wash. 59 seconds was the half. As we get into the far bend, we're going to see a move here as TH Theo will go around It's Kevin, now moves into third. Also advancing now will be Zadie Juice for Henry, rounding things out as Lions Alpha. Off a 30-3 opener, it was a 28-2 second quarter for Yankee Scout, and this Bulldog Hanover Colt leads it by close to 6 lengths at 3 quarters in 127-3. So that was 28-3 in the third, and it was a good middle half here for Yankee Scout, who got away. Yankee Scout, TH Theo has now worked into second. Guitars and Tiki Bars is third, then to It's Kevin in fourth, and going back to the last pair in Zadie Juice and Lions Alpha. But check out Yankee Scout. Yankee Scout, second time out, going to be a qualifying winner here. We'll take this one by close to 7. Yankee Scout over TH Theo in second. Third was It's Kevin. Then rounded out by Guitars and Tiki Bars to Zadie Juice and Lions Alpha. Mile clocking of 156-2 for the Bulldog Hanover Colt, Yankee Scout.
So there's a Colt knocking close to 4 seconds off of his individual time in his debut, 56-2 today. And, the middle half was impressive, 57 seconds flat, and then kicks home at 28-4 on the end. So Yankee Scout, slick-gated son of Bulldog Hanover scoring here for Tony Beaton, driver. James McDonald, TH Theo, a well-beaten second, but, wasn't trying to reel in that pace setter, I don't think. Kind of went his own mile, and he looked good too.
Yeah, both of them finishing 1-2. I thought they took the right steps forward, right? Yankee Scout, I had a bit of a question mark on him last time out. He was in amongst, just a group of horses that couldn't keep up to We Want Easy last time out, and I wanted to see a little bit of pop from Yankee Scout. I didn't quite see it, but again, it's a qualifier, and I think you obviously know that race is already wrapped up. They're not racing for any purse money. You just want a good experience under their belt, and I think that's exactly what James did there with this son of Bulldog Hanover. But today he asked him for a little bit more, and he certainly responded. It's always nice to see them, shed a few more seconds each and every time they step foot on the racetrack.
Exactly. They're not cutting purse checks for the races here today, but nonetheless, this is the preparation. This is what you need, and they have to be so good right off the bat anymore, John. The days of getting a couple of real easy starts into them and maybe winning but not having to go fast. If you're going to win at first asking now, you got to be able to go, at least 54, 55, it seems.
Yeah, without a doubt. And again, we saw some pretty nice miles even from the fillies last night as we kind of touch on I'm Sweet on Lou. But I thought TH Theo put forth a nice showing. But It's Kevin, we just saw on screen. Sneaky good effort up the inside there by the son of Cattle Wash.
Nice way to kick off the morning, a 56-2 jaunt. Yankee Scout kicks off our 13-race program. You're watching the Rookie Showcase. Back with the second in a moment.
A showcase of the finest 3-year-old trotters in the nation, the Hambletonian Stakes was first contested at the Syracuse Fairgrounds in 1926.
Away from the rest of the field, it is Guy McKinney to win the first Hambletonian.
Named after Risdick's Hambletonian, the father of the American trotter. In 1981, set against the backdrop of New York City, the Meadowlands Racetrack in East Rutherford, New Jersey became the latest and longest-running host venue, the urban stage for the most memorable moments.
And he's pouring it on! Mac Lobel has won! Here's the finish! Too close to call!
Operation Hambletonian complete! It's Muscle Hill, 150-1, equaling the world record!
10 horses, $1 million, and a dream to be the best.
Welcoming you back to Woodbine Mohawk Park, our final weekend for the Rookie Showcase. Our third weekend of baby race action here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. So we're going to get our first look at a few here this morning, many returning as well, and some trainers that are going to be quite busy on this morning's session. And no surprise, I don't think, here when you think about Blake McIntosh and Greg McNair. They'll be the two busiest conditioners here this morning. All in, McNair will send out 10 starters. Blake will have 12 going postward today. And look at their career statistics. These are two of the major players on the Ontario stakes scene, especially in the OSS program. Blake, now with $25 million in purses and has had two or three of his best seasons consecutively. And Greg McNair, he just does what he does year after year. Perennially one of the leading and often the leading sire in the Ontario Sire Stakes. So as busy as they are, though, John, you know, something that's fascinating, I was watching some of the racing from this past Wednesday at Gateway, checking the results. And as busy as we think these guys are, Ron Burke had 33 starters that day.
It's amazing. I mean, he's
insane.
It's crazy how he even has the time to kind of manage all those stables. I know he's got great help in each jurisdiction. I mean, he just runs such a well-oiled operation, but that's a lot of 2-year-olds to kind of try and manage and develop. But as you mentioned, I mean, it's why he's one of the best in the sport. As
we said, we'd love to see what kind of a data plan he has, because, I mean, he has to be on his phone nonstop. And amazing, you know, when we've tried to reach him, for example, if we're trying to invite a horse to the Camlock or something, and I mean, he will respond right away. It's incredible. And as you said, just managing those numbers is the really the hard work. You know, he's probably got all kinds of great people helping him for sure. So yeah, it's quite a thing. But like you said, we've got our own guys here that are quite busy, and both of the gentlemen that we just showed there look like they're in store for another really good year. From what we've seen, they've got a barn full of nice youngsters again. They do it year after year.
Volume and quality, that's what you get from two of these guys here that we get a chance to see here locally, in Blake McIntosh and Greg McNair. And we can say the same about a few others as well. But this is their time of year. I mean, Blake McIntosh is always super busy, but we kind of mentioned about horses being ready to go. You never have to worry about a Greg McNair or Blake McIntosh trainee. As soon as they're in to go in a box and pari-mutuel action, you know they're expecting some pretty good miles.
Absolutely. So we're going to look at them stepping onto the track. This is what we like about the coverage we're able to provide. You get a really nice up-close look at these horses, ones that we haven't seen before. The $1 million winner, Tara Pasta, who won the Blue Chip Matchmaker earlier this year, and the $350,000 winner, Pasta Delight. So, you know, when ones come in for the first time with that kind of a family behind them, you're excited to see them go.
Oh, without a doubt. I know co-owner Clay Horner really, really excited about this son of cattle, as you should be, right? And when you see Tara Pasta, you know, display the level of speed that she's displayed in her career, pick up another signature victory several weeks ago, I think there's plenty of reason to be excited about this son of cattle wash, and hopefully that speed can translate. And just, you know, nice to see Tony O'Sullivan back here, training horses again as well. And I think he should have every reason to be excited about this guy. And I'm excited to watch him put forth a pretty good effort, and what I hope is going to be a good effort this morning.
Yeah, after kind of a hiatus from the training.
Yep.
Tony back, of course, the former longtime assistant with Mark Harder, went out on his own, really successful trainer here locally, took a break, went down a different path, and actually was race secretary here, so got to see that side of the business. But the lure of getting back involved with them hands-on And here he is, got a nice one to look at here. Certainly in terms of pedigree. Another one I'm excited to watch here, John. Century Nantucket. Was double entered, was in to qualify at Grand River, or entered and scratched, and I wondered what happened, but reason being he's going to go today. $115,000 purchase at our London Classic sale last year. Better's Delight from the last crop, and the first foal from the Ohio champion, Cape Cod Hanover, who made almost $500,000. He was a good looker in the sale. I thought, just the look of him being a Better's Delight and a real intriguing first full mare, that he'd go for a good price, and he's a six-figure yearling, and I like the look of him on track.
And take note about the owner, Rich Stiles, as well. I mean, this is a guy who typically likes to have one horse at a time in his care. I mean, he had one horse for about 13 years. The moment that he decided to call it quits and send him to retirement, he picked up Captain's Quarters, who's going to be obviously standing stud as well. And we know the career that Captain's Quarters has. So hopefully Rich Stiles can have some success like he did with his most recent yearling purchase, and I think there's plenty of intrigue here with this son of Better's Delight.
All right, back over to Mark.
Thanks so much, guys. Here is the field for this second qualifier today. Staying on the pace, number 1, Bus in Motion. That one will be driven by Tyler Borth for trainer Blake McIntosh. Bus in Motion is a cattle wash colt who went through the Lexington Select sale for $90,000 US. 2, The Dancer's King is a gelded son of Century Pharaoh for Guy Gagnon, co-breeder, owner, trainer, driver. 4, well, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Let's go to the 3, Century Nantucket, Better's Delight colt. Herb Holland trains. The driver is Louis Waugh. This one was purchased at the London Classic for $115,000. Now we go on to the 4, and that is C-Script, a sports writer colt for Greg McNair, Doug McNair in the bike. 5 is Kerplunk, a cattle wash colt for Terry Gallant. The driver is Trevor Henry, a homebred for Bill Maines and Bill Cripps. 6, Southwind Spino, a Bulldog Hanover colt. Tony Beaton trains. Mark McDonald will drive. Lexington Select purchase for $40,000 US. And number 7 is T.H. Benedict. A first-timer here today is a cattle wash colt trained by Tony O'Sullivan. James McDonald in the bike. A Harrisburg purchase for $145,000 US. Gate picks up speed for our second qualifier. Here they come. And they're off and pacing. Right from the center is going to be C-Script stepping ahead, and here comes Southwind Spino up on the outside. Between those rivals is Kerplunk, who will take back into third. The rail starter Bus in Motion to get away fourth. The Dancer's King lined up behind the next door neighbor, while T.H. Benedict will get in front of one rival. Century Nantucket will round things out. Southwind Spino out to the lead here for Mark McDonald, and the Bulldog Hanover colt has a 2-length advantage. Second is C-Script there. Third is Kerplunk. The opening panel up in 31 and 2. So not a whole lot going on in the early going as they all get their positions, and we move into the backstretch, and now we get some activity. Out from third, here comes Kerplunk, the cattle wash colt with a backside brush to the lead, and also moving, that's going to be C-Script to get around the early leader, Southwind Spino. So a little bit of a change up front in terms of the top 3. Kerplunk now the leader. C-Script into second. Southwind Spino is back in third. Gap of 4 lengths going back to Bus in Motion fourth. 2 more lengths then to the Dancer's King, who is tracked closely by T.H. Benedict, and the trailer continues to be Century Nantucket. 1 minute and 2/5 was the half-mile time, so that's 29 seconds in terms of the race. Even quicker for Kerplunk, who made that quick move to the top. Went third to first here, and Kerplunk for Trevor Henry is rolling right along. Halfway around the far turn, a 4.5 length advantage on C-Script. Southwind Spino in third. Then we're going back to Bus in Motion. Off the rail comes the Dancer's King, T.H. Benedict, and Century Nantucket. 128 and 4 for 3/4. So that was a 28 and 2. Third split into the lane, and it is Kerplunk. Kerplunk now has to contend with C-Script. C-Script trying to reel this one in, and it looks like C-Script's got a great chance to get by. Kerplunk at the rail, and C-Script on the outside, and these two pacing strong together. So at the inside, it's Kerplunk trying to straighten off and hold off C-Script. C-Script will win it by a head. C-Script from Kerplunk. Then going back to Southwind Spino, T.H. Benedict shot up the inside, was fourth, 156 and 4.
So it was C-Script in a stretch-long duel. That was entertaining to watch with Kerplunk. They got separation on the field, and they threw down a little bit in the final quarter here, 28 seconds flat, and high marks, I think, to both Colts for the fight they showed. And C-Script, he was determined to get his nose to the wire first and does so in an impressive 56-4 time.
And both Colts making multiple moves in the process, and like you mentioned, that was a pretty nice stretch drive there. This is actually the first full out of a mare that they paid $42,000 for as a yearling, but this is also a son of sports writer. Look, the McNairs, they've had some success with sports writers in the past, right? Obviously, Karma Sealster and Mayhem Hanover, a couple of noteworthy sports writers that put forth pretty good careers, and hopefully this C-Script can do exactly the same.
Yeah, sports writer, a long-time standout, especially in the Ontario Sire Stakes program. Now makes his home in PEI. The last couple of years at Stallion are going to be spent there, but C-Script, really nice effort here. The first time out was rock solid, 58-2. He was 28 seconds on the end. Another, sub-28 second quarter for him today to get there and win. And Kerplunk, a nice effort too. He was a winner at Grand River. He took a little bit of a different path. Big strapping son of Cattle Wash. I talked to his trainer, Terry Gallant, I'm going to say a month and a half ago, and he was telling me about this guy. He was pretty excited about him. And, of course, a homebred for Bill Maines and Bill Cripps out of Delightful Leader. Good one for them, $230,000 winner.
Yeah, I think there's always a bit of intrigue, though, Greg, as well, when you see a dam being bred to a sire for the first time, one that's got, high hopes and a lot of intrigue, like Cattle Wash. And I thought that was a really good showing by Kerplunk. Again, anytime you see multiple moves in a qualifying effort, I think that's something to take note of.
And one other one to touch on, T.H. Benedict, who was closing down on the fence. And we're at our vantage point here. We're just as they go into the first turn. So on the run out after the race, this guy was flying and looked good. So I think that's going to be one to watch in subsequent weeks. Good look at him coming back to the paddock. Time for another break. Back with more from the Rookie Showcase in a moment.
Join us this August on Prince Edward Island for the Gold Cup and Saucer, presented by Atlantic Lottery. Visit redshores.ca for more details.
The annual Lexington Selected Yearling Sale is the centerpiece of the Lexington experience. Located at the beautiful Face Exhibit and Sales Complex, our annual sale continues to produce multiple world champions and divisional winners year after year, including multiple recent Hambletonian Oaks, and Breeders' Crown winners. The sale coincides with Grand Circuit Racing at the Red Mile, all on the world stage. Make your plans to join us this fall and create your own Lexington experience. Monday, October 5th through Friday, October.
A nice morning here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Really, I would say just perfect. Climbing up around that 20-degree mark here today. It's pleasant, it's sunny, and fast track here. So just a perfect backdrop to get our look at Colt, Trotters, and Pacers. More rookies here on our final weekend of the Rookie Showcase. Want to welcome everybody tuning in, worldwide audience online today on our various social media platforms, several of our Facebook pages, of course, PrimeTime Racing, and our YouTube channels as well. Hope you're enjoying the coverage so far. We are just getting started, and another group of Pacers here in qualifier number 3. So we've seen a couple of impressive 56 and change winners to kick off the day. We're going to get a second look at one that really turned our heads back on June 12th. John, his name is Go-Go Gadget.
Yeah, that was a big-time performance by Go-Go Gadget, one that did it ever so comfortably. Tight line to driver Jonathan Drury, and I think he's probably really, really excited to get a chance to sit behind the son of Betting Line again, and hopefully he can take another step forward. But look, that first effort was really, really good with rave reviews.
So 7 horses scheduled to go postward here. 2 first-timers, and the rest are all returning, and a couple of them return off of winning efforts. The aforementioned Go-Go Gadget and this guy, your post 7 starter, Never Again, who was a winner in 59-1 in his debut.
Yeah, that was a sharp effort, a homebred for Steven Klinowski as well, who owns Solely, and I thought this was a really, really sharp effort. One that I didn't know what to expect from him when he made his first qualifying appearance, but I tell you what, hopefully he can build off that because that was a sharp effort on June 4th.
And we get pretty excited about the new faces in the stallion ranks. Of course, Cattle Wash and what he's done, Bulldog, Hanover. We're going to see Beach Glasses selling this fall, but the old veteran stalwarts. We've already seen a sports writer win, and you've got Big Jim here with Never Again. He's got a few going out this morning, Big Jim. So they're still prominent, and I mean they've just been such steady, productive stallions over the course of their career, and they've stood the test of time.
Big time, and again, nobody appreciates them more and speaks more highly about them than Nick Galucci. I mean, he absolutely loves the Big Jim, and I think he's got every reason to appreciate Big Jim as well.
For sure. Another one that we'll get a look at in a moment is Calm Before the Storm. So again, 2 first-timers here. This one is one of those that makes the debut. A Cattle Wash homebred for Gaetan Hébert from My Baby's Girl. And this is a daughter of the $1 million winner, Lady Dillinger, her first foal. And you talked about Gaetan last night being prominent, and got one here that we want to keep a close eye on.
Yeah, and this is obviously out of his dam, My Baby Girl, one that we got a chance to see so many times race here on the Woodbine Mohawk Park Oval, one that took a mark of 150-3 in her career, worked her way up to the preferred. She was a really fast mare. She always put forth good efforts and had some pretty strong kick on the end of it. So I'm sure Gaetan really, really excited about Calm Before Storm, and one that I'm excited to watch as well.
A lot of speed in that family. We will see how it does translate here. There's your post 1 starter, an Always Be Mickey, 5-alarm fire. If you'd asked me to guess the breeding on that one, I would have said a Sweet Lou, probably by the markings, the facial markings. But when you look at the gait, it's kind of got an Always Be Mickey look to it. One from the Ian Moore stable. Now, didn't win the qualifying debut, but it was impressive.
Yeah, you know what? It looked like he was going to get the job done with the trip that worked out in that qualifying prep. I believe James was able to, split them with Bulldog Express. But when James split through, it looked like he showed a little bit of interest. Look, this is a full brother to Hazardous. We've seen some speed from him. Also a sibling to Firearm and Napalm, all of which have showed some speed. But this Colts dam is a sister to the dam of Swingtown and Captain Barbosa too. So definitely one that's got a pretty good family here. And the qualifying effort was a good showing at first asking. But when I got a chance to speak with Doc earlier on, he just said that he had a really, really bad attitude at the start. He'd run right off the track and, things like that. He said he's starting to mature a little bit more, and I think we saw a little bit of that in that first prep.
There's Mark McDonald picking up the drive here on the 4 total account for trainer Greg McNair, Stay Hungry Colt. He was good in the debut. He made a middle half move to the lead and finished 3rd in that effort. So one that will look to step up a little bit here today. Another of the first-timers, Captain's Echo, number 3, $95,000 Harrisburg yearling purchase. Dan Legacy, James McDonald, of course, they were both prominent in this year's Pepsi NA Cup. Captain Treacherous from the $560,000 winner, Southwind Silence, who's already produced a pair of $200,000 winners. Gate rolling for the 3rd. Mark McKelvey with your call.
Greg, as you just noted, just the one change in this qualifier, that being the driver change on number 4 total account, as it is Mark McDonald in the bike. Your field of 7 starts with the 1 5-alarm fire and Always Be Mickey Colt. Harrisburg purchase for $30,000 US. Trainer is Dr. Ian Moore. The driver is Bob McClure. Number 2, the Good Moment, a Control the Moment Colt for Francis Guillemette, who trains. Louis Waugh does the driving. Number 3, Captain's Echo. Captain Treacherous Colt for trainer Dan Legacy. James McDonald steers. A Harrisburg purchase for $95,000 US. 4 total account. Stay Hungry Colt. Homebred for Willow Oak Racing. Greg McNair trains. Make the driver Mark McDonald. And note this one went through the Lexington select sale for $30,000 US. 5 is Go-Go Gadget, a betting line Colt. Kyle Bossons trains. The driver is Jonathan Drury. 6 is Calm Before Storm, Cattle Wash Colt for trainer, owner, breeder Gaetan Hébert. J.R. Plant drives. And on the outside, number 7 is Never Again, a Big Jim Colt Blake McIntosh trains for owner-breeder Stephen Klunowski. The driver is Doug McNair. That's your field of 7 for our third qualifier. Field of 7 on gate. 3 Captain's Echo and the 6 Calm Before Storm. Making their qualifying debuts. The others back for a second go. They're off and pacing in qualifier number 3. Looking to see who is going to shoot out to the early lead, we see the Good Moment start to push ahead. It was a bit of speed flash by Go-Go Gadget. That one's coming up on the leader's wheel. We'll see if that one settles into the 2-hole that is there with 5 Alarm Fire in third. Fourth into the first bend is Captain's Echo, has never again got in front of a couple of rivals, including Total Account, and your trailer is Calm Before Storm. Up to the opening panel here now, and that's there in 30-1. So Louis Waugh has the Good Moment out in front. The Good Moment, son of Control the Moment, leading it by close to 2. Go Gadget, the betting line Colt, trying to track right along, tightens up. Then in third is the Always Be Mickey Colt 5 Alarm Fire. Right behind that one is the son of Captain Treacherous, Captain's Echo. Racing in fifth, the Big Jim Colt Never Again. Then back to the son of Stay Hungry, Total Account, who's second from the back. And at the back of the pack, the Cattle Wash Colt Calm Before Storm can see them all. 59-4 was the half. The Pacers get into the far bend. It's the Good Moment doing the road work. In his first qualifier, he sat third throughout. So a change of tactics here today. Shows the way with 5/8 of the mile in the books. Here is 5 Alarm Fire driving on the outside first up. 5 Alarm Fire inching in a bit closer. In the pocket is Go Gadget. Right behind that one, Captain's Echo. And on the outside is Never Again, going back to Total Account and Calm Before Storm. 128 4 3/4. A few of them look like they're loaded and ready to go as we're into the home stretch. It's the Good Moment. Go Gadget now has the rail open up. 5 Alarm Fire, Captain's Echo, then back to Never Again. They're pacing strong with a 16th of a mile to go. Go Gadget up the inside on the Good Moment. Go Gadget. It's going to get it. The Good Moment will hold second from 5 Alarm Fire third and fourth with Captain's Echo. 156-3, 27-4 on the end of it as it was Go Gadget to take the third.
Another impressive effort from Go Gadget. He remains perfect now in 2 qualifying efforts, the son of Betting Line. Using a similar approach, yet different today, John. He did sit the 2-hole last time, but he was out good and early, shot to the lead and was gone. This time, Jonathan elected to stay inside, so we got a different experience out of it. And you and I were mentioning as they were coming to the wire, trying to make a move on the inside and pass horses there. Yeah, it can be a little bit tricky, but he handled it well.
Yeah, it looked like he put in a couple of funky steps just as he started to get into gear, but, Jonathan gave him a couple of reminders, and he was just, passed with flying colors, in my opinion. This was another sharp effort by the son of Betting Line, and as you mentioned, you like the versatility, you like that they can stay tight to a helmet, and he looked relaxed in there. He didn't look too grabby, he didn't look too aggressive. Looked like he settled in nicely behind a hole, and I think Kyle Bostons and JD have plenty of reason to be excited about this guy.
Yeah, and a 27-4 last quarter and made it look effortless. This guy's high on talent for sure, and Go Gadget announces his presence early on here, and it'll be fun to watch him make his pari-mutuel debut, which should be imminent after that second consecutive really good qualifying effort. The Good Moment, a really nice effort from this one, was third in the debut, did the road work today, and kicked on well as in the home stretch as well. A Control the Moment Colt that looks like he's got plenty of ability. And 5 Alarm Fire lapped on and gaining at the wire. Big, strong-looking colt that I think will continue to progress.
Yeah, he definitely should get better with more experiences under his belt. It's kind of looked like to me that he's just not quite wanting to go by those horses with conviction just yet. But whenever they get up alongside of him, he regains some interest yet again. So it could be a little bit of greenness, but still some solid showings in both preps. And as you mentioned, this is one I expect to get sharper.
Here they are exiting the track. A good debut, I would say, for Captain's Echo. Fourth, finished right up with the top 3 in there and had good final quarter speed. So Dan Legacy hoping that he's got another good one on his hands here in this guy, and I think he does. They would be, I'm sure, quite happy with that effort for the first time out. So 3 pacing events in the books. We're going to take another break. We've got another pacing contest coming up with a field of 6 when we return on the Rookie Showcase.
Canada's premier yearling auction, the London Classic Yearling Sale, returns this October. Hundreds of yearlings from Canada's top breeders and major buyers, all under one roof at the JR Expo Centre. And American buyers, remember, your dollar goes further here. From the world-renowned Ontario Sire Stakes program to the Grand Circuit, London Classic graduates compete at the sport's highest level. You can't afford to miss the London Classic Yearling Sale, October 13th and 14th. For more information, visit londonclassic.ca.
Qualifier 4 stepping onto the track here as we welcome you back to the final weekend of the Rookie Showcase. Want to take this quick moment to thank all of our valued sponsors once again this year for providing or helping us provide the coverage for the Rookie Showcase and being able to be with you over the 3 weeks of qualifying racing. A little bit of a wonky schedule this year. We expected to have a couple of days, and weekend one ended up being consolidated into one. So we added a day here onto the third week. We weren't here covering yesterday, but we did get a final day of coverage here today. So happy to be with you. Again, a big thank you to all of the sponsors. It wouldn't be possible without them supporting the broadcast and giving you your first look at many of these youngsters. So an intriguing contest coming up here. You've got a horse returning that really did turn heads last time out, I think for a couple of reasons. A, he looked good in winning, an impressive time, and he's a gray colt that kind of stands out in the looks department. His name is Dagger One. Another one that gets high marks on looks and debuting today is Mascarpone.
Yeah, and Dagger One, where have we seen Blake McIntosh have success with grays in the past, right? Sterling Choice as well as Go Ahead Make My Day, and he's hoping to continue the trend here with this son of Bulldog Hanover. But a really, really good showing there in his first qualifier on June 4th, and hopefully he can take another step forward here as well.
And he just a $37,000 Harrisburg yearling purchase, and even the ownership connections are trying to go back to the well. Many of the same owners that were involved in Sterling Choice, hoping that lightning can strike again. And so far, so good. That was a really impressive effort. Let's get a nice look at him exiting the paddock. So, yeah, he's an eye catcher, right? He's pretty flashy. And right behind him, check out Mascarpone. If this was a beauty contest, these two would be some of the front runners, I think, here today. But Dagger One, really, really good effort. The first foal from Patina Sealster, the Sunshine Beach mare. And there is Mascarpone. Again, I remember last year at the yearling sale, I on viewing day, or even when horses were moving in, there was 30 or 40 horses that had moved in initially for the sale. And I remember taking a walk through that evening and just having a first look at them, and I was like, wow, this guy stopped me in my tracks. And then for the next 2-3 days, it was a horse people kept talking about. Did you see the Stay Hungry down at the end of the consignment? And Ian Moore saw him and I think fell in love. And by all accounts, he's trained down really well here too. So it's going to be fun to watch him and both Dagger One. Stampede's one that is going to be back here. Cattle Wash colt from Midnight Jet, Craig Bars. So much luck for him and Nurko, right, with that maternal family here, and I liked his debut effort.
Yeah, it was a solid debut effort. I thought he went really, really well, and as you mentioned, obviously ones that he's had in the past out of this family, Night Watchman, Watch Her Fly, Watching Sunset, all of which have displayed speed, and even just going further down to the second dam, just continuing to produce quality racehorses. You mentioned Mascarpone, though, Greg, all the hype about him in terms of how he looked at the sale, it certainly caught Doc's attention as well, because Doc came on record saying he was only going to shop Ontario. When he bought Stay Hungry, because of how appealing he was, he looks like a specimen, and he looked as such at the London Classic Yearling Sale. I got a chance to watch him train here the day of the morning of the Pepsi North America Cup draw, and he looked sharp. He was doing some pacing, and this is a colt I'm excited to get a chance to watch this morning. I'm sure James is excited about him as well.
Yeah, he was a standout in the sale too, from the fact that he was an American bred, the only Stay Hungry, excuse me, in the sale. And we can tell you we've got a cattle wash sibling to that one selling this fall. So obviously, Mascarpone, if he can make a bit of a splash here this summer, that'll go a long way for that one's value potentially. But yeah, we'll see. This guy is sibling to Creme Delight, a $400,000 winning, hard-hitting, pacing mare. So there's some pedigree there as well. Going to get a look at Mark the Mechanic here, one of a couple of first-timers in the field. Cattle Wash Colt, Pour Me a Drink by Cattle Wash as well. They'll occupy posts 1 and 2 respectively here. And the other first-timers at Cattle Wash too, Cherry Bomber, wears saddle pad 7, but we'll get to leave with post 6 here. As we go to Mark McKelvey, looks like a scratch of Second Opinion, so you've got a 6-pack here for the 4th.
Yeah, that's correct. So the 4 is out. Driver change on the 7. Cherry Bomber to Damian McClellan. So down to a field of 6. And as they line up, coming into your picture in a moment will be the number 1, Pour Me a Drink, a Cattle Wash Colt. Mike Timpano trains. Tyler Borthel drive, a homebred for Wendy Timpano. 2 is Mark the Mechanic, Cattle Wash Colt. Gerard Demers trains. J.R. Plant will do the driving. A London Classic purchase for $20,000. Number 3 is Stampede, Cattle Wash Colt. Craig Bars co-owns, trains, also a co-breeder with Nurko Sokolovic. It'll be Trevor Henry in the bike. 4 is out. 5 is Dagger 1, Bulldog Hanover Colt. Blake McIntosh trains. Doug McNair will drive. A Harrisburg purchase for $37,000. 6 is Mascarpone, a Stay Hungry Colt for trainer Dr. Ian Moore. James McDonald gets the driving assignment. A London Classic purchase for $80,000. And on the outside, number 7 is Cherry Bomber, Cattle Wash Colt. Kyle Fellows trains. Damian McClellan will drive. And this was a London Classic purchase for $27,000. So again, the 4 is out. It's a field of 6 for today's 4th qualifier. We continue with the Pacers here on this Saturday morning as the rookie showcase continues for 2026. Starting gate making its way to the top of the stretch. 1, Pour Me a Drink. 2, Mark the Mechanic. Along with 6, Mascarpone, and 7, Cherry Bomber. That quartet qualifying for the first time. Green beginning there at the inside for the 1, Pour Me a Drink. The others on gate. Here they come. And they're off and pacing. And Dagger 1 is going to hustle forward once again. It's Cherry Bomber on the outside, also with some early speed as that one. No problem. Strides right up into second. Will get right behind Dagger 1 as Stampede got away in third. Mascarpone will look to settle in fourth in front of Mark the Mechanic. And again, Pour Me a Drink was off the gate at the start, but is going to catch up to the pack as we make our way to the opening panel. Dagger 1, the gray son of Bulldog Hanover, on the lead, 30-1, but here comes Stampede now for Henry, out from third. So Stampede is making a march after the lead, and Dagger 1, who was a gate-to-wire winner in his qualifying debut, will give way and now ride in second. It's Stampede to the top. Cattle Wash Colt Stampede leads it. Dagger 1 is second. Third up the backstretch is Cherry Bomber, followed by Mascarpone in fourth. Then we go to Mark the Mechanic, and it's about 3.5 lengths back to Pour Me a Drink as they're by the half in 59-1. Nice second quarter move here for Stampede, a change of tactics after sitting mid-pack in his first qualifier, and Stampede has a lead here of nearly 3 lengths on Dagger 1 second. Cherry Bomber is third. Mascarpone right up on that one's back in fourth. Also tightening up now is Mark the Mechanic, and Pour Me a Drink is sixth. It is Stampede coming to 3/4. Stampede front steps them there in a time of 1:28-1. 29 seconds in the third split, and into the lane for Stampede. So Stampede's got some separation. Trying to track this one down will be Dagger 1, and here comes Mascarpone. That one looked loaded on the far turn, and Mascarpone's now up into second. Dagger 1 going right alongside as they're trying to get closer to Stampede here in the final 16th. Stampede under attack. Dagger 1 and Mascarpone. Can Dagger 1 reach up? Stampede holds on. It's Stampede who holds on by a head. Second was Dagger 1. Mascarpone was third. And then we go back to Mark the Mechanic, finishing fourth, 156-4.
Getting a good look at the run out there, and look at Mark the Mechanic there, your fourth place finisher. So, of course, the top three, I thought, all looking really good in their own way. Stampede, he wanted to roll early on and took over command, and right in here, it looked like he might get picked off by a pair of them, but he finds another gear here, and Dagger 1, he kind of gapped on the last turn, wasn't sure what we were going to expect from him, but he got re-engaged late, and then Mascarpone right there with him.
Yeah, a nice little finish there in qualifier number 4. But look, just some greenness probably there being on the lead for Stampede. But as soon as the horses got up alongside of him, he showed a little bit more fight. Dagger 1, another good showing by this Blake McIntosh trainee. Mascarpone, he started to get into gear. It looked like he was probably going to get the job done. Wasn't able to pass the pace setter and got picked off for second there up the inside. But still a solid showing in this morning prep by the son of Stay Hungry.
Yeah, I think you'd be very happy with that. That's his first go around this morning versus the others that had the benefit of a qualifying race under their belt. Mark the Mechanic, the first timer, was in really the same boat. And again, that's why I love following them all the way through that first turn for almost another quarter of a mile. And he's running over them. He's just getting going at this point. So a really nice initial effort for that one as well. So I think lots to be excited about from that qualifier, John. Just a field of 6, but I would take any one of those 6 in my barn.
You could tell Mascarpone, he wanted to go. He looked eager, though, as soon as he was hitting the top of the stretch. He wanted out of that hole. And, again, I think positive marks for that qualifying prep. But you mentioned Mark the Mechanic. How about J.R. Planto getting the opportunity to sit behind more and more 2-year-olds? I mean, he makes his way here to the WEG circuit. He's having some success. He's had a couple of signature victories under his belt as well with a couple of grassroots finals. But now getting the opportunity to sit behind some 2-year-olds. And that's always something that, is exciting and a big opportunity for a guy like him.
And I would think for the connections, they like a guy like him. You've got Mark McDonald back here now too. Veterans that have been around a long time, and they really know how to bring a young horse along. They want to teach them something, but also get some speed out of them at the same time. And that's probably why you see some of those guys get a good opportunity. Trevor Henry's another one, right? So, I guess the luxury is so many good horsemen, so many good reinsmen here locally.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's going to be a good summer. And again, I think plenty of people have plenty of reason to be excited about the stock that they're going to get a chance to sit behind all summer long.
So 4 races in the books, all pacing events. We're going to get our first look at trotters after this short break as we welcome you back to Woodbine Mohawk Park.
Back Farm of Canada's home to 9 outstanding stallions, including Metro-based champion Captain's Quarters, who's new in 2026. Beach Class, winner of the Meadowlands Pace and the last great son of Some Beach Somewhere, his first yearling crop sells in 2026. Lawless Shadow, an O'Brien Award winner and Meadowlands Pace champion, whose first crop sells in 2026. The Great McWicked, the richest pacing stallion in harness racing history, and 2-time O'Brien Award winner Tattoo Artist, a winner on every size track with many stakes and track records. Also standing Better Than Cheddar, Betting Line, My MVP, and Trixton. For more information, it's winbackfarm.com.
Time to get a look at some trotters as we welcome you back to the Rookie Showcase here on PrimeTime TV. Welcome to everybody tuning in this morning. It's been all pacing so far, but trotters here. And we'll let you know, too, as far as our coverage this morning, we're going to take an intermission break following this one. 2 breaks this morning with the 13 race session, just to allow some time for track maintenance and for horses in the later races to get their warm-ups in. So we'll have our first break coming up after this fifth qualifier. We're going to have an interview, pre-taped interview with David Reid of Preferred Equine. So really looking forward to that as well. A nice group of 6 set to go postward in this one, including Alarm Bell, a first-time starter, post 1 for the alarm detector, and owned by Bill Maines, co-owns with the Trevor Henry Stables. So Trevor will be driving. Wife Shannon does the training of this alarm detector. A sibling to 3 have made $200,000 already in their careers.
Yeah, and this is the lone alarm detector that's going to be being sent out here this morning. So intrigued to see what this guy can do. Obviously co-owned by Trevor Henry as well, and hoping for a good showing here this morning.
Post 1 for that one. We're going to get a look here as well at Unstable Genius, your post 3 starter. There will be a lot of anticipation for this debut too. A muscle mass gelding, $140,000 London Classic sale purchase last year, and a muscle mass out of Pretty Crafty, and that name likely rings a bell to a lot of people because she has been one of the top producing broodmares probably anywhere in North America. This guy's a sibling to 6 horses who've made $150,000 or more during their careers, including 152 winner Mastercraft. The production record is incredible, and this guy is full sibling, of course, to Mastercraft. So Unstable Genius has a lot of talent in the family to try and live up to here, and this will be what the Connections hope will be the first step. And Pollock Racing, one of the prominent owners in North American harness racing, dove in on this guy, so Dave Maneri will send out the trotting gelding.
Yeah, and you know what? Pollock Racing, obviously buying this guy at the London Classic Yearling Sale, initially named D.A. Bodacious, and they wanted to change the name to Unstable Genius. This is a full brother to a Stable Genius. We've seen have success here, not only here in Ontario, but obviously in the States was a purchase for Pollock Racing and Company. But they said that they named him after their trainer, Unstable Genius, after Dave Maneri. So they're hoping for some pretty good things here this morning as well.
Yeah, and this one, of course, bred by Ashley and Dean Wilson. So they're all of theirs get named with the DA moniker. But yeah, I like if you're going to switch it up, try and go with something unique and catchy, and Unstable Genius is what they landed on here, post 3. So first start for that one. Pollock Racing, of course, of Irvin Hanover fame and many more. Maybe just a quick thought on him. He's come back fantastic.
He's come back fantastic, like you mentioned. That was a tough trip in that Gold Cup, and he just got up, but it just goes to show just how game he is and just how fast he is. So I'm excited to see what he can do throughout the rest of the summer, because things didn't start off great last year, but so far 2 for 2 to kick off 2026.
Back over to Mark with the caller. First look at trotters here this morning.
All right, here is this field of trotters. Group of 6 for our 5th qualifier. The lone driver change is that on the 6. Prepare for War. Louis Waugh will take the lines. We start with number 1, Alarm Bell, and this is Alarm Detector Colt, a homebred for Bill Maines and Trevor Henry Stable. So Trevor Henry's in the bike, trained by Shannon Henry. Alarm Detector Colt, Alarm Bell kicks things off here in the 5th. Number 2 is Mr. Predictable, and this is a son of Muscle Mass, trained by Blake McIntosh. The driver is Tyler Borth. Mr. Predictable, a London Classic purchase for $35,000. Number 3 is Unstable Genius, a Muscle Mass gelding for Pollock Racing. Dave Maneri trains James McDonald in the bike, and this was a London Classic purchase as well, $140,000. Number 4, Legendary Warrior, another son of Muscle Mass. This colt is trained by George Zernis. Doug McNair will drive, and went through the Harrisburg sale for $15,000 US. 5 is Clarkey, gelded son of King of the North. Trainer driver is Paul Davies, and Clarkey went through Harrisburg for $15,000 US. And then we get to number 6, Prepare for War, and it's another son of King of the North. This colt trained by Kyle Fellows. The driver's going to be Louis Waugh, and was a Lexington Select purchase for $45,000 US. It's your field of 6. First look at trotters here in our 5th qualifier. 5th of 13 on this Saturday morning from Woodbine Mohawk Park. Gate picks up speed, and here they come. And they're off and trotting. And it looks like Legendary Warrior is going to opt to stride out to the early lead. It was an even beginning right off the wings there, but McNair lets this one go out to the top. Here's Prepare for War coming up on the outside. Mr. Predictable. Meanwhile, Unstable Genius will get away in fourth. Alarm Bell is then racing in fifth, and Clarkie will round things out. Your leader here is Legendary Warrior, who leads us up to the opening panel. Settling into the two-hole Prepare for War. We'll track the leader closely as they're by the opening station in 31 and 2. Coming out of the first bend, it's Legendary Warrior, the George Zernis trainee, driven by Doug McNair, up the backside, a length and a half advantage on Prepare for War. 2 more lengths then to Mr. Predictable, followed by Unstable Genius. Another couple lengths back to Alarm Bell, and 2 more lengths back to Clarkie, who is the trailer about 9 lengths off the lead. Single file up the backside, they follow the Muscle Mass Colt Legendary Warrior, while King of the North Colt Prepare for War gets a nice toe. Breaker in the second quarter. Alarm Bell went off stride nearing the half, and the half is up in 102 and 3. Trotters will make their way into the far turn. Legendary Warrior. Nice tracking trip here in second for Prepare for War in the qualifying debut. Then Mr. Predictable is third. Unstable Genius is fourth. Going back to Clarkie fifth. And resetting his Alarm Bell is about 6 lengths off his nearest rival as we're halfway around the far bend. Little bit of separation here for Legendary Warrior. 2-length advantage on Prepare for War. Whip over the tail of that one. 133 and 3 for 3/4. And the Trotters hit the top of the stretch. Legendary Warrior leading it, and now opens it up by 3. Prepare for War in second. Mr. Predictable shown clear racetrack along with Unstable Genius, and on the far outside Clarkie. It's still Legendary Warrior with the advantage. Here comes Unstable Genius and Clarkie on the far outside. Unstable Genius down the center is going to reach up. It's Unstable Genius to take it. Legendary Warrior was second. Clarkie a good final quarter third, and Mr. Predictable fourth. 203 and 2 for Unstable Genius.
Unstable Genius really lived up, I think maybe even exceeded what you would expect to see from a horse with this type of pedigree and start number 1 behind the gate. 2, 3, and 2. Again, don't get caught up too much in the time, but just the way he did it looked great, start to finish. Big, strong son of Muscle Mass. The mare pretty crafty. When mated with him, they have a look to them. She and the sire, of course, really stamped their youngsters, and just effortless. Got a big kind of an easy bounce in the stride, covers the ground so effortlessly compared to others. Nice eye-catching rally from Clarkie on the far outside. Finished well in hand with plenty of trot. Nice story behind that one.
Yeah, really nice story behind it. This is the last crop from Keith Clark, obviously a respected, very, very respected and talented horseman in Alberta that we lost a couple of years ago. And this is also co-owned by Nate Sobey. And I know Nate, great relationship with Keith Clark, and I'm sure that he's excited to see this one put forth a pretty good effort named after him. And just kind of mention that everything that Keith just sent out, he just had a hand of gold. He just had the magic touch, and hopefully his namesake here, can do some pretty good things, because it would be a neat story. But it was a good showing by him this morning as well.
Yeah, Keith, a legendary, and I mean legendary horseman from Western Canada. So great to see, and Paul Davies driving himself and had this son of King of the North well in hand. He had a lot of go to him at the end, and Legendary Warrior splits them and finishes second and raced really well. This is another Muscle Mass. George Zernis, veteran trainer, a name we haven't seen around in a long time, but boy, you look back a few years, he had some good ones. The one that immediately comes to mind for me is the Millionaire Snazzy Millie, who he developed and raced as a youngster. Great trotting lass. So good to see George back with a trotter that I liked what I saw from. Yeah, it was a good effort, cutting the mile in that morning prep, and I thought he was a solid second in that outing. Fended off a hard-charging Clarkie, but I tell you what, first starter that he sent out since 2015. Not a name that I'm familiar with, but I think Legendary Warrior definitely put forth a good showing. But you mentioned Unstable Genius, the winner in that qualifier. You mentioned it even while we were watching. It's just such a nice little bounce to him. He just moves well, trots well, and I think we saw that in the lane with him. It looks like Pretty Crafty is going to click again. Her production again, that's the home run, as they say in the breeding business. Certainly, when you get one like that. 5 in the book so far, John. And what's really, I think, caught my attention is a lot of the ones that we had a lot of anticipation for seeing today have all delivered.
They've all delivered, absolutely. Again, this was one that we were intrigued to see. Unstable Genius put forth a good effort. Some other ones that we talked about earlier on. So far, so good. Look, we've got a lot of talent that we get a chance to unveil here in Ontario, and I just can't wait till they make it to the races and we get a chance to watch them compete all summer long.
So we've got 8 more left to go here this morning. It's a busy final day for the Rookie Showcase. We're going to take our first intermission break. We've got a special interview when we return.
Canada's premier yearling auction, the London Classic Yearling Sale, returns this October. Hundreds of yearlings from Canada's top breeders and major buyers, all under one roof at the JR Expo Centre. And American buyers, remember, your dollar goes further here. From the world-renowned Ontario Sire Stakes program to the Grand Circuit, London Classic graduates compete at the sport's highest level. You can't afford to miss the London Classic Yearling Sale, October 13th and 14th. For more information, visit londonclassic.ca.
In the Gold Cup and Saucer!
Art Sharp Scott Giron in the Gold Cup and Saucer!
Join us this August on Prince Edward Island for the Gold Cup and Saucer, presented by Atlantic Lottery. Visit redshores.ca for more details.
The award-winning Terra Hill Stud is home to the All-Stars, including Cattle Wash, sire of the undefeated U.S. and Canadian Horse of the Year, Bojangles. Green Manalishi, the leading OSS stallion of 2- and 3-year-olds in 2025. Terra Hills is also home to Dan Patch Award winner King of the North, who is set to unleash his first crop in 2026. And of course, the perennial leading sire, Muscle Mass, whose sons and daughters have now earned over $90 million. This stacked roster is only getting deeper as Terra Hills welcomes for 2026 the Iron Horse of Buckabent Hanover and the champion son of Chapter 7, Killmister. This is Terra Hills Stud, home of the All-Stars. For more, visit terrahills.com.
From Hanover's Bertha to Bulldog Hanover. From Shepherd to Simpson to Williams. Hanover Shoe Farms, celebrating 100 years as the greatest name in harness racing.
From the rolling fields of Lucan, Ontario, right to the winner's circle, Sealster Farms has been making an impact across harness racing since 1969. Today, the Sealster roster is headlined by the world's fastest standardbred, the amazing Bulldog Hanover. 145-4, Horse of the Year in Canada and the US. Bulldog Hanover is already the sire of multiple Grand Circuit winners, including Grade 1 winning filly, She's a Bulldog. The Sealster lineup also includes All Bets Off, Big Jim, and Century Pharaoh. To learn more about the Sealster team, visit sealsterfarms.com.
You're watching the Rookie Showcase. Welcome back to beautiful Woodbine Mohawk Park. We are in Campbellville, Ontario. Greg Blanchard, John Rallis. We're just in our first intermission break here as part of our 13-race day of baby races for Colts, both trotters and pacers here this morning. And, you know, when you go to any major standardbred yearling sale in North America, I would argue the most familiar face you see there is that of David Reid. And, he's been a fixture in North American harness racing circles for decades. The man behind Preferred Equine, of course. And earlier this week, our Mark McKelvey caught up with him for a little one-on-one. We'll send it over there now.
Well, as the Rookie Showcase continues on here on Primetime Racing, pleased to welcome in another special guest. Mr. David Reid is joining us and soon to be entering the Hall of Fame. David, are you counting down the days to the Hall of Fame induction ceremony?
Yeah, starting to. It's a busy time of year, obviously, and I'm not prepared as much as I should be, but I'm looking forward to it very much. And we're 2.5 weeks away, so very exciting times, but we got work to get done before we get there. So,
Well, that's what I was going to ask. You're always on the go, and we're catching up with you today from Paris, Kentucky. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're up to right now at this time of the year as we're into mid-June?
Yeah, so that we're doing our yearly inspections for the Lexington sale, and then as I do that, I always incorporate any yearlings I'm selling for other clients in Harrisburg or London. And we really started in May, and Bruce and myself, Bruce Brinkeroff and myself will do the Lexington inspections. We were here last week for 3 days, and Bruce went up to North American Cup. I went back to New York, and I flew back here last night, and we'll be down here for 4 days, and we'll inspect probably between the 2 weeks, probably 500-600 yearlings down here, I would imagine, in the 2 weeks time. So it's very, very active, very busy time, but it's we're weather dependent a little bit, but last week we got a little rain. But doing our yearly inspections, we're getting Lexington selected sale pretty well organized, and just looking forward to getting it wrapped up down here this week.
We'll talk about preferred in a second, but I just want to go back to the Lexington sale. We're seeing a lot of Lexington sale grads hitting the track right now. It's the premier sale here in North America. And 5 nights or 5 days nights, a bit of a mix when it comes to the sessions. But is it always, in your guys' estimation, are you always looking for around the same number of horses that'll be selling? Is there a bit more demand year in, year out? Kind of take us through the process of how you put the catalog together.
Yeah, so if you go back through the history of time, our numbers have creeped up. The Lexington catalog has gotten bigger over the last number of years, and after last year's sale, we had a $61 million sales, the third highest grossing sale. But there was some consigners and management thought that maybe we should tighten it up a little bit. Last year we cataloged 913. The year before it was 924. And we decided in January that we're going to tighten up the catalog a little bit. And then with the Breeders' Crowns dates being established in January, February for this year, they're going to be moved ahead a week. So Lexington reacted, and they altered their racing schedule. So this year in 2026, they're going to race Thursday, Friday, Saturday, both weeks. And so we're actually going to condense the sale probably around 825 entries, or give or take, maybe a little less than that right now. So we're going to shorten up our sale, and we're going to go a day less. So this year's sales catalog, when it comes out, we'll have our Monday night session, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we'll conclude on Thursday night. That's the plan right now. So, when we get done this week with our inspections, we'll be probably closer to 800 to 825, and it'll be a 4-day format.
Talk a bit about preferred. Last year was a banner year. I look back to Harrisburg and the success you had. You must have been riding a nice high coming out of the sale season, going into the holidays last year.
Yeah, it's a little bit of sweet because, listen, you're sometimes your successes are at the other people's, maybe a dispersal or a partnership or estates or people retiring, et cetera. So, from a results point of view, I was very, very happy for all sides. Went off smooth. That's something that took a lot of planning, like with the Jules Siegel dispersal. We started working on that last year, probably in June, and then the Cass Littlefield situation had been going on for a couple of years. But to do it properly takes a lot of coordination and efforts, and then you would like to think that effort turned into results, and I'm fairly confident that it did. So yearling wise, we had a good year last year, and just keep servicing the clients, and take it as we come, because that's our business. But we preferred really does take a vested interest in trying to help the client maximize value, opportunity, and then also the presentation to the prospective sellers. We try to go the extra mile as well.
If you were going to talk to a racing fan who was excited about this year's 2-year-old group hitting the track, obviously we have a lot of the returning top stallions who will continue to have success. I know up here we were excited about King of the North and how he'll do in his first season. Full book for Bulldog Hanover. Anything you were watching closely going into this year, and obviously the impact it'll have on the sales down the road in terms of how some of these sires perform at their first crops?
Yeah, 100%. We watch this stuff all the time, actually. So we follow the statistics, and then pacers and trotters are obviously, some years are heavier one way or the other, and Bulldog obviously having bigger crop of 2-year-olds this year. Cattle Wash is doing great up there. King of the North, like you say, first crop sire. And then you gotta watch the Green Mountain Leashes, the Muscle Masses, and it's jurisdictionally. So same thing with New York is Chapter 7 is a little heavy on the trotting side of it, but Pennsylvania, Jersey, Kentucky, we watch all the stallions, and you get a horse like Ickery D on the trotting side who didn't have a big crop last year. You hear good training things, and you're making the decision in June. Really, when the horses are start to baby race, what you do with them offsprings this fall, and then the King of the North, obviously, it's they sold well last year, so there are probably some high expectations up there. So every jurisdiction is a little different. Pacers are a little harder to get a read on than trotters, especially they usually the baby races are just going on your second week up there. Meadowlands just went last week, and Gateway had theirs. So this time of year, for more ways than one, you have to keep your head on the swivel because there's action every day, everywhere. And when Bruce and myself are out there analyzing the individuals, you have to try to look forward a little bit, and then you got to get the pedigrees, and it's a very tight window to get it right, and it takes a lot of effort from our whole team, in fairness, and that's what we're down here, doing this, finishing up this week, and then we'll try to put the cattle together. By the time we get to middle of July, we're gonna have a pretty idea where we're at, and that's, you talk about Goshen being 2 weeks down the road. We're only 4 weeks away from the middle of July, really. So it moves fast.
Well, like you said, it does move fast, but hopefully you can take a moment to enjoy the Hall of Fame ceremony coming up. Well-deserved. Congratulations again, and we appreciate you taking some time to chat with us today.
Yeah, listen, and shout out to you guys up there, and Curtis for broadcasting these babies, because a lot of owners they want to see their horses in prime time, and appropriately named PrimeTime Racing is your show, and it's I think it's important. Listen. The more exposure we can get to the owners, obviously everyone can't travel, and the important baby races are, starting the careers of these horses, and it's important for people to be able to see that. So I think hats off to you guys for doing the show, and we're happy to support you.
Well, thank you very much. We love having you a part of it all. So enjoy your time in Kentucky. Enjoy everything coming up, and we'll be talking soon.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate Hall of Famer Dave Reid, one of the busiest guys in harness racing too, taking some time out to chat with Mark. And we'll wish him good luck with everything this summer. And again, thanks to him and all of our wonderful sponsors for making this coverage possible. Time for another break, and we'll get set to resume our final day of the Rookie Showcase here from Woodbine Mohawk Park.
Canada's premier yearling auction, the London Classic Yearling Sale, returns this October. Hundreds of yearlings from Canada's top breeders and major buyers, all under one roof at the JR Expo Centre. And American buyers, remember, your dollar goes further here. From the world-renowned Ontario Sire Stakes program to the Grand Circuit, London Classic graduates compete at the sport's highest level. You can't afford to miss the London Classic Yearling Sale, October 13th and 14th. For more information, visit londonclassic.ca.
In the Gold Cup and Saucer. Hard Shark Scott Giron in the Gold Cup and Saucer.
Join us this August on Prince Edward Island for the Gold Cup and Saucer, presented by Atlantic Lottery. Visit redshores.ca for more details.
The award-winning Terra Hill Stud is home to the All-Stars, including Cattle Wash, sire of the undefeated U.S. and Canadian Horse of the Year, Bojangles. Green Manalishi, the leading OSS stallion of 2- and 3-year-olds in 2025. Terra Hills is also home to Dan Patch Award winner King of the North, who is set to unleash his first crop in 2026. And of course, the perennial leading sire, Muscle Mass, whose sons and daughters have now earned over $90 million. This stacked roster is only getting deeper as Terra Hills welcomes for 2026 the Iron Horse of Bucka Bent Hanover and the champion son of Chapter 7, Killmister. This is Terra Hills Stud, home of the All-Stars. For more, visit terrahills.com.
Hanover's Bertha to Bulldog Hanover. From Shepherd to Simpson to Williams. Hanover Shoe Farms, celebrating 100 years as the greatest name in harness racing.
From the rolling fields of Lucan, Ontario, right to the winner's circle, Sealster Farms has been making an impact across harness racing since 1969. Today, the Sealster roster is headlined by the world's fastest standardbred, the amazing Bulldog Hanover. 145-4, Horse of the Year in Canada and the U.S. Bulldog Hanover is already the sire of multiple Grand Circuit winners, including Grade 1 winning filly, She's a Bulldog. The Sealster lineup also includes All Bets Off, Big Jim, and Century Pharaoh. To learn more about the Sealster team, visit sealsterfarms.com.
As we welcome you back and just moments away from resuming our coverage here this morning, we want to take an opportunity again to give a big shout out to all of our amazing sponsors. Harness Racing Update, of course, Arsenault Horse Transport, the London Classic Yearling Sale, along with Sealster Farms, Winback Farms, Hanover Shoe Farms, Twinbrook Farms, Tara Hill Stud, Preferred Equine Online, and the Hambletonian Society. And not too far down the road from this year's Hambletonian. And interesting to hear David Reid talking about the Lexington sale this year. A little bit of a change with the overall schedule, so they called an audible and going with a shortened up yearling sale, approximately 800 yearlings. And I'll tell you what, when you tune in for day one at Lexington, that Monday night session, that is must-see TV.
I've never been at the sale live, though I've obviously been there for the weekend of the Grand Circuit, which is obviously going to change as well this year. I believe a week earlier than normal, and I think they're going to do it on the Saturday this year as well, their big Grand Circuit meet. But I want to be there for the sale, hopefully get an opportunity here this year, because you get to see so many, just superstar, well-bred horses go through the sale, and it's just a great atmosphere as well.
It is. It's a beautiful venue, first of all, second to none. And, the blue chip prospects in all of harness racing sell there on day one. It's kind of the who's who when you're looking up pedigrees, of course, and then the whole experience of the Grand Circuit racing at Lexington. It's a college town, John. So yeah, I would highly recommend take in the whole experience for a week if you can. There is nothing like it. And again, we want to thank David for joining us on our coverage here today as we switch gears again back to Pacers this time around. We can tell you we've got a scratch from this upcoming sixth that take out number 3 Rocket Star, and there's Free Agent. Up until last evening was your fastest rookie in Canada so far in terms of qualifying time, or up until yesterday morning, I should say, when the fillies went a little bit faster. Free Agent, he was out way back on June 4th, that first week, and he was by far the fastest on the day. 56-1, 27-4 on the end. What could we expect from him today? And
you know what? He showed a little bit of greenness there on the lead, right? He put in a couple of funky steps, but Louis was able to kind of gather him up, and he finished up the mile pretty strongly. So still one that, despite needing some, obviously, more maturity, one that put forth a pretty quick mile. And Blake's had success with the family as well, right? I mean, he did train the full brother to this guy as well, also the half-sister. So one that he's familiar with, and hopefully he can take another step forward here to this morning, because I was really, really impressed with him. But hopefully we see some of those bad habits out of the way.
Now we just got a look at El Kukui, number 5, a Huntsville gelding, came out of the Alberta yearling sale. Paul Davies, who we already saw this morning, trains and drives this one, a second foal from an American Ideal mare. So this one, a $40,000 purchase out of the Alberta sale. A relatively high-priced yearling offering from out there. Our first look at that one. Crushed It's a first-timer, the Post 1 starter, Cattle Wash colt out of Racy Gal Hanover, homebred of Santo Annunzio Vina, and a sibling to 3 winners of $200,000 plus, including the $500,000 winner, Rock This Way. And Twin Jets is one that'll be back out for Ian Moore, another cattle wash here. The other winner from last week was Treacherous Wind, who looked very good for Team Fellows.
Yeah, and a sibling to Gulf Shores, a really, really talented racehorse that put forth really, really good showings. And this sibling, the son of Captain Treacherous, he certainly put forth a pretty good showing on June 12th. So one that I'm definitely excited to get a chance to see her in person.
Wasn't as fast as Free Agent. His time 58 and 2. But one well in hand. So we're not, again, we're not going to read a whole lot into that. And, it's a qualifying race. They're not going to be going all out. They're looking to leave a little in the tank, obviously, for the Parimutuel debut. But you're kind of already looking at this as a little bit of a qualifying showdown, a little bit of a matchup maybe between the two that we've already seen.
Yeah, without a doubt. And again, Kyle Fellows, you mentioned him. He had a couple of winners in those 2-year-old races. Last night he's had a lot of good showings here in these morning preps, and Treacherous Wind, definitely one of them as well.
So Free Agent, let's see if he can follow up on that impressive win from a couple of weeks ago for Blake McIntosh, who, again, as we mentioned earlier, the busiest trainer on this morning session. Back up to Mark McKelvey with the call.
Thanks so much, guys. Time to resume today's action. The 6, Colts and Geldings, the rookies on the pace. Number 1, Crushed It Cattle Wash Colt. Ben Bayarjan trains. The driver is James McDonald, a homebred for Santo and Nunzio Venna. 2 is Treacherous Wind, a Captain Treacherous Colt trained by Kyle Fellows. In the bike is Doug McNair. Lexington Select purchase for $65,000 US. Looks like the 3 is out, so we'll move on to the 4. I Believe in Miracles, gelded son of Big Jim for Len Lalonde, Jody Jameson. $50,000 London Classic purchase. 5 El Kukui is a Huntsville gelding. Trainer-driver Paul Davies, $40,000 yearling purchase out of the Alberta Standardbred sale. 6 Twin Jets is a cattle wash colt. Dr. Ian Moore trains. Mark McDonald will steer. $100,000 U.S. buy from Harrisburg. And 7 is Free Agent for Blake McIntosh, the trainer. American Ideal colt handled by Louis Waugh. Free Agent, a Lexington Select. $50,000 U.S. grad. 3 is out. Down to a field of 6. 2-year-old pacing Colts and Geldings for Qualifier 6. And they're off in pacing, and there goes Twin Jets, as that one is going to be hustled forward. So too, I Believe in Miracles, and Treacherous Wind came off the wings nicely to get away in 3rd. Free Agent's going to come across to get into 4th, ahead of Crushed It 5th, and your trailer 6 is El Kukui, and up top here is Twin Jets. So Twin Jets, second time out for the son of Cattle Wash, and here today they press the go button right at the start, and Twin Jets and Mark McDonald by a length and a half on I Believe in Miracles. 29-2, opening panel, fastest opening split to this point. It's Twin Jets to the backstretch, second for the time being, I Believe in Miracles, and here comes the move. That one will loop to the lead now for Jameson. So I Believe in Miracles, the gelded son of Big Jim takes the top now. That'll put Twin Jets back in second. Treacherous Wind paces along in 3rd. Free Agent is 4th, back to Crushed It 5th, and 2 lengths back to El Kukui, who is 6th. They're moving right along as they approach the half, and I Believe in Miracles, second time out, was a winner in 2 minutes flat back on June 12th, is by the midway point in 58-1. 28-4 in the second quarter, and even quicker for that second to first moving I Believe in Miracles, and this one now opens up 4 lengths into the far bend. Twin Jets back in second, trying to pick it up, and Treacherous Wind gets the cue to go now, goes around that rival. Free Agent set to follow, and back to our final pair, Crushed It, and off the rail comes El Kukui. I Believe in Miracles. Treacherous Wind is only 2.5 lengths away, 3/4 time, 1:26-2. So a 28-1 third quarter up front here for I Believe in Miracles, and Treacherous Wind is inching in, and so too is Free Agent. So down to the drive here is I Believe in Miracles with Treacherous Wind and Free Agent storming on the outside, coming by. It is Free Agent, the American Ideal colt, taking the lead, drawing away late. A little wide here in the lane, but it's a Free Agent win once again. Free Agent to take it. How about El Kukui? Rallied from the back to finish in second. Then Treacherous Wind was 3rd, and I Believe in Miracles 4th. 156 flat for Free Agent.
Free Agent 2 for 2 in the morning sessions here. Louis Philippe Bois guiding the Blake McIntosh pupil to a solid off-the-pace win, 156. Fastest mile of the morning so far. Free agent from Off the Pace, once again, getting it done. We forgot to mention one other that had won last time, and this guy, I believe in miracles. He was handled aggressively in the third quarter, went to the lead, put up a big third quarter, just tired a little bit here in the late stages. He and Treacherous Wind in the battle for third, but coming on late and I think turning some heads with his rally to be second was that Alberta sale purchase from last year, El Kikui.
A couple of Paul Davies charges that rallied nicely on the end of it, including this son of Huntsville. And free agent, though, another professional, a more professional outing, I should say. Didn't look steppy, came off the pace, looked good. Definitely had some speed to chase, but I thought that was a good showing. You mentioned I believe in miracles. Put on the accelerator in that third quarter, tired late in the mile. Maybe they just wanted to get a little bit of more speed and fitness into him. I thought that first qualifier was definitely sharp, fighting off some horses. This one, though, maybe not as much pop on the end of it, but like I said, maybe they wanted to get a little bit more speed and fitness into him today.
For sure, and we should mention the owner of that one, Power Racing, and it was his first endeavor into the harness racing industry, a former prominent thoroughbred owner that decided to get back involved last fall and came to the London Classic sale. And, definitely reached into the pocketbook, spent over $500,000 in yearlings, including this guy, nice gentleman named Brian DeCuna. And I think he's been enjoying the process, the training down and getting here to qualifying races. And he's got his whole family involved and taking part in that. And we'll be anxious to see this guy and a couple of his other charges hit the racetrack this year. Yes, there's Paul Davies. Really good morning at the office for him. Here's a nice prospect, a Huntsville gelding called El Kikui. He came from way back to be a sharp second there at qualifier number 6. We have another group of trotters on deck on the Rookie Showcase.
The award-winning Terra Hill stud is home to the All-Stars, including Cattle Wash, sire of the undefeated U.S. and Canadian Horse of the Year, Bojangles. Green Manalishi, the leading OSS stallion of 2- and 3-year-olds in 2025. Terra Hills is also home to Dan Patch Award winner King of the North, who is set to unleash his first crop in 2026. And of course, the perennial leading sire, Muscle Mass, whose sons and daughters have now earned over $90 million. This stacked roster is only getting deeper as Terra Hills welcomes for 2026 the Iron Horse of Buckabent Hanover and the champion son of Chapter 7, Killmister. This is Terra Hills Stud, home of the All-Stars. For more, visit terrahills.com.
Just our second field of trotters coming up here as we hit the midway point and move into the back half of our final day of coverage on the Rookie Showcase. Ballykeel Survivor, the one that we're looking at here, for Katie McNeil and a partner Tyler Borth, who does the driving here. Wheeling and Dealing Colt, sibling to 3 who've made $100,000 or more already. Really nice family. They all get to the races. They all seem to be really competitive, and this guy makes a nice appearance on the track. You heard from Katie McNeil a little earlier today. Don't know if you got any insight specifically on this one, but she's pretty happy with her young group so far.
Yeah, without a doubt. Mostly talking about the charge that she sent out yesterday, a sibling to this guy as well. Press on Ballykeel put forth a pretty good showing last night here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. I know some shoeing changes up front and behind, went barefoot behind. I thought that was a really, really nice showing. Definitely taking a step in the right direction. Hopefully the string of good efforts can continue for that one.
Yeah, they're very hands-on, and Tyler maybe a little bit different than most of the top catch drivers today, in that he's still very active day to day in training their stable as well. So maybe gives them a little bit of an edge sometimes on the racetrack, and especially obviously with their own horses, because he's sitting behind them on mornings like this, and if anything needs changing or tinkering, he'll be able to give that first-hand feedback right away. There's one with a lot of pedigree potential in the field. This guy, number 2, Spiritual Guidance, going to be Greg McNair and Doug McNair teaming up. The son of Muscle Mass, sibling to run director. Of course, a $680,000 winner in his lucrative career, a multiple gold winner. He was Grand Circuit placed as well. Our Peaky Blinders in the same family, a horse you know well here.
Yeah, one that's been putting forth really, really good efforts, and he's gotten better as he's gotten older as well. I know that he was a bit tricky, and you had to kind of handle him a certain way at the beginning, but he's just so much more comfortable now. We're seeing the versatility. He can take a lot of air. These are horses that sometimes just need a little bit of time to kind of reach their full potential and hit top gear. I think we're seeing exactly that with our Peaky Blinders. So spiritual guidance, like you mentioned, one that I'm excited to see here for his second showing.
He was fourth in the debut, and I think what you want to look at is the 29-2 last quarter. We haven't seen a lot of speed from the trotters, and especially in the first couple of weeks in terms of overall final times. So 29-2 last quarter, when you read everything into context, is pretty good.
Yeah, I think we should note, though, there was a strong headwind that morning as well, so we didn't see a lot of quick times by virtue of that, so they can be a little bit misleading.
Field of 7 scheduled, and it looks like they are all out there and taking up their positions. So back over to Mark McKelvey with the play-by-play.
All right, guys, they are lining up as we're back on the trot for today's 7th. Driver change on 6, Yankee Proud to Jody Jamieson. Number 1 is Fast Car, gelded son of Green Man Alishi for Pat Dillon. And Bob McClure in the bike, 2 Spiritual Guidance, a muscle mass colt, homebred for Tom and Elizabeth Rankin. Greg McNair trains, Doug McNair does the driving. Next is 3, The Guru. And this is a colt by Acurie D, trained by Ben Bayarjan. James McDonald will drive. A 6-figure yearling, $155,000 US out of the Lexington Selected Yearling Sale. Number 4, Brick by Brick, a gelded son of Green Man Alishi. Matt Bax trains and drives, Brick by Brick, a Lexington Select grad as well, $25,000 US. 5 is going to be Ballykeel Survivor for Ballykeel Racing. Katie McNeil trains, Tyler Borth drives, a wheelin' and dealing colt. 6 is Yankee Proud, a My MVP colt for trainer Blake McIntosh. Driver will be Jody Jamieson. This one went through the London Classic for $21,000. And on the outside is number 7, Emerald Inclusion. Scott McEnany trains. Trevor Henry does the driving. This is a Green Man Alishi colt. So we get over to the trot here for this 7th qualifier. Just our second trot of the day. First one went in 2, 3, and 2 to Unstable Genius, who was a good-looking debuter. Let's see what we've got here. And we have a break at the start as we begin the 7th. Off stride went the 5, Ballykeel Survivor. Looked like that one might have bumped right into Brick by Brick, who also went off stride. Getting away cleanly, and out to the top goes Yankee Proud. The Guru to get away in second. Rail Starter Fast Car is third. And Spiritual Guidance lines up fourth as Emerald Inclusion settles to the back fifth, resetting both of those breakers, Brick by Brick and Ballykeel Survivor. Around the first turn they'll go, and Yankee Proud. Second time out, and it's the My MVP colt leading it. Opening quarter, 32-2. Yankee Proud over the Guru second. Right behind that one, tracking closely in third, is Fast Car. Then fourth is going to be Spiritual Guidance. Bit of a gap going back then to Emerald Inclusion. Off stride again went Brick by Brick. So moving by that one will be Ballykeel Survivor. As Yankee Proud, who got a 2-hole ride in his debut qualifier on June 4th, does the road work here this morning in Qualifier 7, and the Guru content just to follow. It's also his second time out. He's up a lot closer than the first time. 1:03.4 is the half-mile clocking. Fast Car is there in third. That one raced from the back in his debut qualifier. Spiritual Guidance is there in fourth, familiar position from his debut. Then Emerald Inclusion fifth, first-timer here, son of Green Man Alishi. A couple lengths back to Ballykeel Survivor, and another 15 back to Brick by Brick, so nothing changing here. And Yankee Proud has just shown the way. Three-quarter time, 1:34.3. As they kick into the lane here, we'll see if Yankee Proud can turn on the sprint. Off stride in second went the Guru. Here on the outside comes Spiritual Guidance, and that one is making a move on the outside, and powerful strides takes the lead. It's Spiritual Guidance to strike the front. Less than a 16th to go. Spiritual Guidance from Yankee Proud. Fast Car in third. It is Spiritual Guidance, the Muscle Mass Colt, to take Qualifier 7 in 2:04 and 2.
Another winning credit this morning for Stallion Muscle Mass, this time Spiritual Guidance, out for his second effort. Again, the one that's got all that pedigree potential on the side and gets the first win, albeit in qualifying action here this morning from off the pace into a fast final half. They were sprinting at the end, and this guy showed lots of go on the end of the mile to haul down the pace-setting Yankee Proud and Fast Car. A much better effort, I think, in finishing third than what we saw in week one from that one.
Yeah, I got a chance to see Pat Dillon, quickly last night here in the paddock, and he just kind of mentioned, his charge just didn't go the way he kind of wanted to that first go around. Just said that he tinkered with a few things, and he was expecting a much better performance from him this morning, and it certainly was the case. Fast Car got away cleanly from the inside. Thought he did exactly what he needed to do, and he made a major improvement here this morning.
Spiritual Guidance looks ready to go, and I'm going to have to actually look up the schedule. I should have done that before we came on today. You're starting to think OSS now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be long before we see these horses in action, and that's always fun to look at and see which conditioners, which connections elect to try and enter the deep waters of the Gold Series right off the bat, or maybe start with grassroots and try to work their way back up. There's a look at the Guru, one, again, that has some pretty famous siblings and looked really good just until the late stages and jumped it off.
Yeah, unfortunately that he jumped it off in back-to-back, preps here. He was in a really, really good spot. He looked pretty eager, pretty engaged. I was really intrigued to see what he could do at the top of the lane before, unfortunately, put in steps yet again. But he's trained by Ben Bergeron. I'm sure they're going to get this guy figured out, and I'm sure we're going to see some good efforts from him in the near future.
And that one, of course, a sibling to Hamiltonian winner Captain Corey. I'm the same. I'm not really worried at all about that horse. I think they'll get him figured out, and he's got a good look to him. He's a really good-looking individual, and I think when they get him straightened out, things will progress quickly. Stepping off of the track for qualifier number 7. We'll switch gears back on the pace when we return to Woodbine Mohawk Park. You're watching PrimeTime Racing.
As the industry's leading sales agency, Preferred Equine's new online sales portal, Preferred Equine Online, offers the best online service available. Developed by our experienced sales team, the powerful new platform with cutting-edge technology makes buying and selling easy from the comfort of your home or office over any device. Our experienced sales team offers full customer service for buyers and sellers as it relates to the collection, distribution, and transfer of the horses offered. Sellers can enter a horse as easily as 1, 2, 3 with a searchable database while allowing comments, photos, and other documents. Buyers can view live pedigrees, past performances, and race videos. To view the sales schedule, create your account, or learn more, visit www.preferredequineonline.com or call our sales team at 914-773-7777.
Here's a look at an important piece of equipment on a day like today. The water truck here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. They've been going non-stop. It's just a beautiful morning here in Campbellville. We mentioned it, a little bit overcast, so it's kept the temperature just a really comfortable 20 degrees or so here at a fast oval as we get another look at pacing Colts going to the post here. And there is our second look at Captain Cavalier. He was out for the debut last time, finishing 5th. The $240,000 purchase out of the Lexington sale. And there's a reason why. This one's a brother to the $2 million winner, Nijinsky. What did you think of his initial effort? What would you expect from him today?
Yeah, I just saw, this is a late foal, so I thought that this was one that went pretty well in that, first prep. A couple of wheel discs there by James McDonald. I thought he was moving forward when he tried to get his attention, so kind of similar to what we saw in one of the Tony Beaton charges early on in this program. Curious to see if we're going to see a much more aggressive approach because, he was covered up in that first qualifier. He put forth an aggressive showing today. I'm curious if we're going to see that from Captain Cavalier here today, but I know they've got high hopes for this guy, and deservedly so.
And as mentioned, before we took the break there, wanted to look ahead now. Now is the time to start looking ahead to the schedule, the OSS schedule. And it's going to be July the 3rd when we get our first look at Gold Series action for rookies here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. We're going to have the Pacers, 2-year-old Colts and 2-year-old Phillies, both scheduled for the same night. So it's going to be a gold bonanza for rookie Pacers here on July 3rd. And no doubt we'll see some of the horses competing today in that first gold event. Another one here that caught my eye when, scouring the program earlier and trying to look up some of the siblings to these horses. Lions Big Bang, number 6. This is a full to the 47-4 winner, Poppy's Pistol.
Poppy's Pistol, a really, really fast horse. We've seen some big miles here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. We've seen some great efforts at the Meadowlands as well. Was one of the fixtures in that Glamour Boy division, last season. So there's a lot of speed with Poppy's Pistol. We saw that on full display during his 3-year-old campaign. So Lions Big Bang, plenty of intrigue here with the son of Pappy Rob Hanover.
Just on screen a moment ago, Jody Jameson with I'm in Command for Jack Darling. This is a Bulldog Hanover colt. The mare, Wish All You Want, she's perfect. She's 4 for 4 with her foals in terms of getting to the racetrack. And among them, New York Sire Stakes champion mare, Wishy Washy Girl, a winner of $610,000. So this one may have potentially been a steal. We'll find, time will tell. We'll find out. $37,000 Lexington purchase, just $33,000 out of Harrisburg for the aforementioned Lions Big Bang.
And the dam, a full sister to up the credit as well. And this was, like you said, a Bulldog Hanover that Jack Darling's going to be sending out. He's only focusing on those Bulldogs, but he was a bit of a handful early on. I know he had to geld him earlier on because he was just becoming way too tough to handle around the barn, but this is one that they said matured significantly. I got a chance to speak with Johnny Malaya, a few qualifiers ago, and he kind of mentioned the attitude's a lot better. So hopefully we start seeing that translate to some speed and success on the track as well.
Yes, I am Hanover, another Bulldog Hanover colt here for Team McNair. He was second, just picked off in his debut effort, so a second try for him today. And Cattle Tracks number 1, first timer, Cattle Wash colt, sibling to the 49-4 winner. You Can't Touch This $35,000 Harrisburg purchase. Back over to Mark with the call of the 8th.
Here is the field for qualifier number 8. 1 Cattle Tracks, a Cattle Wash colt. Louis Waugh drives for trainer Dr. Ian Moore. $35,000 US buy out of Harrisburg. 2 is Captain Cavalier, Captain Treacherous colt for trainer Tony Beaton. The driver is James McDonald. A Lexington selected yearling sale purchase for $240,000 US. 3, I'm in Command, a Bulldog Hanover 2-year-old for trainer Jack Darling. Jody Jameson in the bike. I'm in Command, went through the Lexington Select sale. $37,000 US purchase. 4, Yes I Am Hanover, Bulldog Hanover colt. Trained by Greg McNair. Doug McNair does drive. Another 6-figure yearling, $110,000 US out of Harrisburg. Number 5, Baywatch Blue Chip, is a Better Select colt for trainer Scott McEnany. The driver is Trevor Henry. Lexington Select grad, $40,000 US. 6 is Lions Big Bang, Poppy Rob Hanover colt for Ken Oliver. Scott Coulter drives. This was a $33,000 purchase from Harrisburg. And 7 is Skip the Dishes, a Stay Hungry colt, trained by Blake McIntosh. The driver is Tyler Borth. Back on the pace, qualifier number 8. No changes here. Field of 7. Gate picks up speed, and here they come. And the raw fan pacing, and the quickest away from the rail is going to be Cattle Tracks, who pushes to the front. Up on the outside comes Yes I Am Hanover, and then away well was Captain Cavalier, unhurried. Meanwhile, I'm in Command lined up fourth, going back to skip the dishes, followed by Baywatch Blue Chip and Lions Big Bang to the top. McNair sends Yes I Am Hanover. So Yes I Am Hanover, they had one destination on their mind. That's the lead, and they'll bring us to the opening panel. Cattle Tracks now can follow along second. 30-1 was the opening split. Yes I Am Hanover, son of Bulldog Hanover, takes us into the backstretch, leader by a little more than a length and a half, while Cattle Tracks, first time out, gets a two-hole ride for the time being, with Captain Cavalier content to sit there third. Fourth up the backstretch, I'm in Command. Couple more lengths back to Skip the Dishes, about the same gap back to Baywatch Blue Chip, and pretty much the same margin back to Lions Big Bang. Yes I Am Hanover motors right along, second time out, and once again on the lead. A minute and a fifth was the half-mile time, so a smidge quicker in the second split. Yes I Am Hanover, a two-length advantage from the debuting Cattle Track. Second time out for Captain Cavalier, who's about 3.5 off the top, and I'm in Command. It's his first time, and he's edging in a little bit closer. Then it's 4 lengths back to Skip the Dishes. Off the rail is Baywatch Blue Chip getting a cue to move, and 2 more lengths into Lions Big Bang. Yes I Am Hanover looking strong at 3/4 in 1:28.4. That was 28.3 in the third panel. Yes I Am Hanover. Cattle Tracks is second. Captain Cavalier sticks behind third, and I'm in Command is trying to rally on the outside. It's Yes I Am Hanover into the final eighth of the mile, still with that lead at 2.5 lengths. Cattle Tracks is pacing well second. Captain Cavalier sits behind, and here's I'm in Command on the outside, but it is Yes I Am Hanover. Gate to wire this time out, wins it. Second was Cattle Tracks. Looks like I'm in Command was third over Captain Cavalier in fourth. Mile clocking of 1:56 flat for the Bulldog Hanover Colt. Yes I Am Hanover.
Well, how about that? The fastest last quarter of the day so far, 27-1. They were doing some stepping on the end of this mile. And this Bulldog Hanover Colt, who got picked off in the debut, that wasn't happening today. He was full of pace at the end. Slick-gated youngster here, and another exciting prospect for the McNair camp. Cattle Tracks, first time out. Nothing wrong with his runner-up finish, and I'm in Command in the same boat. First-time starter, and from off the pace showed some late interest.
Yeah, Yes I Am Hanover. This is one that battled a couple of rivals in the stretch drive last time out. I thought he fought gamely, but he didn't show the level of pace that we saw in this one. Again, there was a headwind last time out. That's why we're going to see some of those, relatively slow last quarters. He looked so much more comfortable on the engine tonight, did Yes I Am Hanover, and Doug had a pretty good hold of him, and he was doing some pacing. You could tell as soon as he hit the top of the lane that he was hitting an extra gear.
And Captain Cavalier right beside him, the brother to Nijinsky. He was fourth, but absolutely nothing wrong with his effort. And after the race, he looked like he had lots left in the tank as well, and looked nice and strong on the run out. So that's an exciting group. As we look back at the overall 8 races so far, you'd have to say that arguably the most impressive group, or certainly right up there. 156 for Yes I Am Hanover. We talked about the first gold. I'm going to say, based on that, highly likely we might see him in that group.
Oh, without a doubt. And after that mile, I think he's ready to go next time out, and he's ready to tackle some of the highly touted youngsters as well. But I tell you what, Captain Cavalier, Nijinsky was a bit of a slow starter as well. But, I mean, his talent didn't kind of flourish until towards the end of his 2-year-old campaign, transitioning to his 3-year-old season. With Captain Cavalier, a couple of positive efforts here in the morning, and hopefully he can just continue to grow and get better.
And a powerful-looking group this year for trainer Greg McNair. So it's early, but he could be an early favorite to repeat and come back as your leading trainer in the OSS program this year. 8 races down, 5 left to go. We'll be back with more of the Rookie Showcase next.
Harness Racing Update covers the sport from all the angles, with news, opinion, features, photography, and the most comprehensive racing, breeding, and sales stories in the game from around the globe. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. Plus, HRU's popular Twos and Training series on YouTube gives you the first look at the stars of tomorrow. And the best news? It's all free. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com.
We're down to 5 races here this morning, welcoming you back to the Rookie Showcase. Again, a big thank you to all of our sponsors here. You see them at the bottom of the screen as we are live for our final day of the Rookie Showcase for 2026, so unveiling the future stars of the sport, and it has been so much fun so far. We're on the trot here, and this is a time where a lot of people are dreaming. It's just a dream at this point, a faraway dream, if you want to call it that, looking ahead to the Hambletonian. But it's really not that far away, John, when you look at the schedule this summer. Summer's kind of slipping by, and the Hambo now coming into focus.
We've got Meadowlands Pace eliminations coming up in a couple of weeks, and then obviously the final, and then shortly thereafter, as you mentioned, it's going to be the Hambletonian. And every year we keep talking about how excited we are for the group of sophomore trotters that we're going to get a chance to see compete for that signature event. But I tell you what, this is a really, really talented group, so far this year, and I think we've seen some impressive showings early on as well.
Yeah, who would you say right now if you're going to pick your Hambo winner at this stage?
It's tough not to say Apex. I know Marcus Melander, unfortunately, has been kind of snake bit in this event. He's had countless of opportunities, but he's also had countless number of very, very talented starters in that event. But I tell you what, he's gonna get his Hambletonian, because when you keep sending out the level of talent that he sends out, he's gonna get the job done. But Apex, obviously, out of the Great Mission Brief, he had the makings. He looked like the makings of a superstar last year, and he's bred to the nines. So I think this is one that so far this year, his efforts have been sensational. And he looks like he's matured, and his gait is just incredible to me. So he's one I'm really excited to get a chance to watch this summer.
Well, speaking of Melander, we remember back to 2018, Green Shoe led his powerful 3-horse entry and looked clearly like the horse to beat in the Hambo that year. But a Canadian invader named Forbidden Trade certainly had other ideas. But, Green Shoe, Chimpanzee, Green Manalishi were his 3 that year. They've all gone into the stallion shed and have made an impact. And we're going to see Son of Green Shoe in this contest, number 4, Honcho, another one for the McNair stable, who was 4th in the debut. Next door is King Sullivan, son of the first crop of King of the North. This guy was a $150,000 yearling purchase last year at the London Classic sale for Tom and Elizabeth Rankin. Not sure what to make of his qualifier. He was kind of in mid-pack last time out and then rolled off stride turning for home. So this will be a race we'll watch closely to see if it can come back with not only a flat but an improved effort.
Yeah, this is one that I was intrigued to watch last time up, because first foal out of Lefkada, obviously a really, really talented trotting mare that we got a chance to watch compete here in Ontario for the Rays. So hopefully she could, mind her manners here, because I'm really intrigued by this, first foal out of that mare.
There'll be a couple of King of the Norths in this field, a pair by Muscle Mass, and he's already had a couple of winning credits today. Wolfpack Doc, one of them. Tyler Moore, training and driving. Post 6 for this one in the field of 6. 7 has been scratched. The other's Tough Going. This one, a King of the North. First foal from a sister to Ambassador Hanover, who was a $750,000 winner. Meg Crone trains. Anthony Hahn in the driver's seat. Or actually, Louis-Philippe Roy. Looks like there was a late change here. Back over to Mark with the call of the 9th.
Thanks so much, Greg. Horses lining up. You mentioned it. Louis Roy takes the reins of the 3, Tough Going, and the 7, Walner All the Way, is scratched. It's now a field of 6 for the 9th. Inked CCL is the 1. AQED Colt, trained by Dan Legacy, the driver James McDonald. Lexington Select purchase for $8,000 US. Next up is the 2, Balius, a muscle mass gelding for Guy Gagnon, who trains and drives. A yearling purchase out of Harrisburg for $40,000 US. 3 is Tough Going, King of the North Colt, trained by Meg Crone. Louis Waugh now steers. Harrisburg purchase for $100,000 US. 4 is Honcho. Doug McNair drives for trainer Greg McNair, a Green Shoe Colt. Willow Oak Racing homebred, went through the Lexington Select Sale for $30,000 US. 5, King Sullivan, a King of the North Colt, trained by Ben Bayarjan. Tyler Borth drives, $150,000 buy from the London Classic. And the 6 is Wolfpack Doc, a muscle mass colt. Tyler Moore trains and drives, $25,000 London Classic yearling purchase. 7 is scratched. Starting gate moves into the stretch. Field is 6 for the 9th on the trot. Here they come. They're off and trotting, and it's an outside leaving Wolfpack Doc heading out to the top. Honcho through the center, trots into second. King Sullivan outside of Balius, and then at the rail is Inked CCL, and Tough Going just takes to the back. So out to the lead was Wolfpack Doc, ready to shoot here today, and the Son of Muscle Mass has a 2.5 length lead into the first bend, while Honcho is second. Balius is spotted in third. Meanwhile, King Sullivan took a spot there in fourth, just in front of Inked CCL, then back to Tough Going. 30-4 was the opening quarter, and the Trotters will exit the first turn, and Tyler Moore has Wolfpack Doc rolling right along. He's out to a 6-length lead. Back in second is Honcho, and then there's a gap to Balius in third. 3 or so lengths back to King Sullivan in fourth. Inked CCL in the debut is fifth, followed by Tough Going, also a first-timer. So Wolfpack Doc, who first time out, finished fifth, just raced mid-pack. Individually clocked in 2:02 and 2. Today, up front to a half in 1 minute and 2/5. A second quarter in 29 and 3. Wolfpack Doc will take us on to the far bend. Honcho, a second timer, is there in second. And then it's a gap of 7 lengths going back to the debuters. Balius, the King Sullivan, then back to Inked CCL. And rounding things out is Tough Going. Wolfpack Doc, the lead now down to about 3 lengths. Honcho is starting to get a little bit closer. These two have many lengths on the rest. 129 and 3 3/4. So that was 29 and 1 in the third. Good middle half here from Wolfpack Doc. Let's see how he finishes it off. He has the lead by 2. In second is Honcho. Then well back to Balius in third. Battle on for fourth into the final 8th. Wolfpack Doc looking to close it out. Honcho now to take a shot on the outside. Wolfpack Doc and Honcho on the outside reaching up in deep stretch. It'll be Honcho to take it. The Son of Green Shoe wins it. Wolfpack Doc was second. Balius was third. King Sullivan fourth. Mile time of 1:59 flat for Honcho.
That's another nice effort from Honcho here. Fourth in the debut. He's charted 2-3-1 on that day. Drops more than 4 seconds here today. The Son of Green Shoe, who we talked about, and gets it done here with, I think, an eye-catching final quarter time. The winner certainly was still trotting strong at the end, Wolfpack Doc, who did the road work here, but no match at the end for Honcho. That's a really nice, quick turn of foot, slick-gated Son of Green Shoe, and yet another impressive youngster from the McNair camp.
I think he kind of tipped our hand last time out. I thought he had some pretty good trot on the end of it, and this time was able to deliver in a winning performance, but got himself in a pretty good spot, angled off the helmet and took his clear shot in the lane, and he just did it so professionally, and he just did it quickly. So back-to-back winners now for Doug McNair and Greg McNair. You talked about it on the start of the show, just the success that they've had in some of the baby races, and they're having another good showing here this morning, and they have plenty of reason to be excited over these last couple that they sent out as well.
In a relatively low-priced yearling purchase out of the U.S. Last fall, the buyers have kind of went away a little bit from Green Shoe. It's a tough business now. If you don't make that immediate splash, you can get those sort of bargain basement purchases, and they may have found one here with Honcho, who was very good today. Runner-up, Wolfpack Doc. Nice try from that one, too. This one, a London Classic Sale graduate. A lot of good potential in that family too. Yet another son of muscle mass today who looks good. This one stepped up substantially. Fifth last time, 2-2-2. Today, second, and pushing that eventual winner all the way to the wire today in 59. So nice step up, real nice step up for both of the top two finishers in this spot. Balius, first-timer, was well back in third, but I'm sure the connections are quite happy with this gelded son of muscle mass as well. There's a look at Wolfpack Duck. Back in off the track, big strapping son of muscle mass. Your runner-up today in qualifier number 9. We've got 4 races remaining on what's been a really entertaining final day here on the Rookie Showcase. We'll welcome you back to Woodbine Mohawk Park in a moment.
From the rolling fields of Lucan, Ontario, right to the winner's circle, Sealster Farms has been making an impact across harness racing since 1969. Today, the Sealster roster is headlined by the world's fastest standardbred, the amazing Bulldog Hanover. 145-4, Horse of the Year in Canada and the US. Bulldog Hanover is already the sire of multiple Grand Circuit winners, including Grade 1 winning filly, She's a Bulldog. The Sealster lineup also includes All Bets Off, Big Jim, and Century Pharaoh. To learn more about the Sealster team, visit sealsterfarms.com.
Campbellville, Ontario. Tiny hamlet of Campbellville, of course, home to the best racetrack in Canada, the biggest and best in Canada, this beautiful 7/8 mile oval. Happy to be with you today for the final day of the Rookie Showcase. We're getting a look at trotters here. Following this, we'll take our second intermission break. We're going to have James McDonald joining us for that special guest. We'll get to chat with James. Looking forward to that. But we've got trotters before that happens here. And we are going to get our first look at one that has to get you excited, certainly on paper anyway. Your post 5 starter, Access Now.
Yeah, big time. A sibling to Private Access. This is one that I'm sure they're expecting really, really good things from, and the family's produced some quality racehorses as well. So Access Now, well bred, and comes from a barn that merits a lot of respect and sends out a lot of top-notch trotters.
Yeah, sibling to Private Access, of course. Who won 3 legs of the Graduate last year, including that 150-2 lifetime mark. Was second in the 2024 Canadian Trotting Classic. This gelded son of Walner was collared for $200,000 last fall in Harrisburg by Determination and Luc Blais. Next door, Steadfastly. Post 6 starter, another from the Blais barn. And one of just 5 foals for Warwi Roo, a horse that campaigned for Blais, a really top trotter, made I think around $800,000 in his career. He won the Super Final, I remember, back in 2016, and then one of his biggest wins as an older horse came in that 1.25 mile Harry Harvey Invitational at Yonkers Racetrack. So they bred the horse a few times, 5 foals so far. This will be the first one to qualify.
Yeah, again, this is one that went last time out, and I'm excited to see what he can do in his second go-around. But, let's see. I think he'll be able to take a step forward here tonight. We usually see that from Blais trainees.
For sure. Classiest Ruler, number 2 in the field, is one that you probably want to keep your eye on here as well. Matt Bax training and driving this muscle mass gelding out of ruling class, sibling to a quartet of $100,000 winners, including the full sibling, first-class Ruler, with $225,000 earned in that one's career. A field of 7 trotters taking up post positions. Note the driver change here on the 3. Back over to Mark.
Yes, Louis Waugh handles the 3 Gold Rush King as the trotters take their positions here for the 10th. Number 1, Detonator Hanover is a muscle mass colt. Dr. Ian Moore trains Tyler Moore in the bike. $80,000 US was his yearling price out of Harrisburg. 2 is Classiest Ruler, a gelded son of muscle mass. Matt Bax trains and drives. The 3 Gold Rush King is a King of the North colt. For trainer Kyle Fellows, make the driver Louis Waugh. $22,000 US out of the Lexington Select Sale. 4, Our Northern Star is a King of the North colt for trainer Greg McNair. Doug McNair drives his homebred for Tom and Elizabeth Rankin. 5 is Access Now, gelded son of Wallner. Luke Blay trains. Bob McClure is in the bike, and Access Now was a Harrisburg purchase for $200,000 US. 6 is Steadfastly, a Warrawee Roo colt. Once again for Luke Blay, homebred for Determination. Tyler Jones is between the wheels. And number 7 is Send Me No Flowers, an alarm detector colt trained by Ben Bayarjan, another homebred for Tom and Elizabeth Rankin. And James McDonald does the driving. So there you have it, a field of 7 for this 10th qualifier, 10th of 13 here today from Woodbine Mohawk Park. Starting gate moves into the stretch, a field of 7. Trotters assembled for the 10th. Here they come. And they're off and trotting. Our Northern Star is going to try and step ahead and went off stride. Our Northern Star made a miscue trying to leave out of there. It's going to be Gold Rush King. Also off stride goes to 7, Send Me No Flowers. So a couple of them were trying to go forward and just jumped it off. At the rail is Detonator Hanover. From the center is Access Now, who will look to cross over in front of Classiest Ruler. Going back to Steadfastly, who was a little green at the start. And off stride once again, that is Send Me No Flowers, the trailer. Gold Rush King leads it. Detonator Hanover is second, and after making an early break, it ends up being Our Northern Star, who just gets back trotting and goes down to the rail in third. 31-2 is your opening quarter here, and we're going to get a lead change. The 4 3/8 of the mile is contested. Detonator Hanover with a move to the top. Gold Rush King is relegated to second. Our Northern Star trying to salvage the mile there in third. Access Now is fourth. 3 lengths going back to Classiest Ruler. 2 more lengths back to Steadfastly, and well back to Send Me No Flowers, who is back trotting. Gold Rush King was your early leader, but Detonator Hanover won at the top and got us by the half in 101 flat. So Detonator Hanover, who finished second in his qualifying debut back on June 12th, kicked home in 28-4 to miss by just half a length, is out with the lead. Took the top in the second split and is really trotting now around this far turn, leading it by 5.5 lengths. Gold Rush King is second. Third is Our Northern Star. Then well back to Excess Now, followed by Classiest Ruler. On that one's back is going to be Steadfastly. 129 3/4. That was a third quarter in 28 seconds on the button, and Detonator Hanover trying to make a statement here today. 1/8 of a mile to go. Gold Rush King is in second. Our Northern Star pops to the outside. Fourth is Access Now. So check out Detonator Hanover. Second time out. Going to be a qualifying winner. Going to take it by double digits. Into second, Our Northern Star. Finishing third was Gold Rush King. And fourth is Access Now. Mile time 1:57.4 as it was Detonator Hanover in the 10th.
Well, that was interesting. Detonator Hanover on top and cruising. They were 50 feet from the wire. I looked over at you and said, "You've got to love muscle mass, don't you?" And then right on cue, the horse jumped off stride. So not sure what happened. We'll get a look at it here. It looks like he just got his wires crossed a little bit here. Just got out of gear for whatever reason. Let's see if we can pinpoint where exactly. He does roll off here, but he looks so good right up until that point, and just kind of rolled into the break. Again, I not anything I don't think long term to be concerned about, but it'll be a little bit frustrating. We would have liked to have seen him polish off what was going to be a really impressive and by far the fastest qualifying race we've seen so far for a rookie.
Yeah, looked good until he didn't, unfortunately. But I tell you what, that first qualifier was a really good showing. And a qualifier number 2 before jumping it off. He still looked sharp out there. I'm sure Tyler Moore will have him figured out. But I think he's got plenty of reason to be excited about the son of muscle mass. As you kind of alluded to and mentioned, Greg, he moves well, and he certainly trots well. And it's unfortunate he jumped it off, but I think he's still got plenty of reason to be excited about this guy.
Really good follow-up effort for our Northern Star, too. He's a King of the North Colt who won his debut, just won by 3 parts of a length last time when he set the tempo. Today, changing up tactics, and a nice, lively finish for that guy and finishing in the runner-up spot. So there's a Detonator Hanover. Again, kind of a mixed result effort today for this guy. Plenty of talent, though, and what a good day it has been for that veteran stallion, Muscle Mass. We'll go to break, and when we come back, more Pacers from Woodbine Mohawk Park.
Canada's premier yearling auction, the London Classic Yearling Sale, returns this October. Hundreds of yearlings from Canada's top breeders and major buyers, all under one roof at the JR Expo Centre. And American buyers, remember, your dollar goes further here. From the world-renowned Ontario Sire Stakes program to the Grand Circuit, London Classic graduates compete at the sport's highest level. You can't afford to miss the London Classic Yearling Sale, October 13th and 14th. For more information, visit londonclassic.ca.
In the Gold Cup and Soccer! Hard Shark Scott Zeron in the Gold Cup and Saucer!
Join us this August on Prince Edward Island for the Gold Cup and Saucer, presented by Atlantic Lottery. Visit redshores.ca for more details.
The award-winning Terra Hill Stud is home to the All-Stars, including Cattle Wash, sire of the undefeated U.S. and Canadian Horse of the Year, Bojangles. Green Manalishi, the leading OSS stallion of 2- and 3-year-olds in 2025. Terra Hills is also home to Dan Patch Award winner King of the North, who is set to unleash his first crop in 2026. And of course, the perennial leading sire, Muscle Mass, whose sons and daughters have now earned over $90 million. This stacked roster is only getting deeper as Terra Hills welcomes for 2026 the Iron Horse of Buckabent Hanover and the champion son of Chapter 7, Killmister. This is Terra Hills Stud, home of the All-Stars. For more, visit terrahills.com.
From Hanover's Bertha to Bulldog Hanover. From Shepherd to Simpson to Williams. Hanover Shoe Farms, celebrating 100 years as the greatest name in harness racing.
From the rolling fields of Lucan, Ontario, right to the winner's circle, Sealster Farms has been making an impact across harness racing since 1969. Today, the Sealster roster is headlined by the world's fastest standardbred, the amazing Bulldog Hanover. 145-4, Horse of the Year in Canada and the US. Bulldog Hanover is already the sire of multiple Grand Circuit winners, including Grade 1 winning filly, She's a Bulldog. The Sealster lineup also includes All Bets Off, Big Jim, and Century Pharaoh. To learn more about the Sealster team, visit sealsterfarms.com.
The Rookie Showcase continues. We have 3 races left to go this morning. Time for our second intermission break, giving some time again for that track maintenance to take place, and also a couple out warming up here for the last 3 this morning. Just awaiting our special guest, James McDonald. He's just taking a quick break, and he's going to come down to the set and join us and chit-chat a little bit about what we have seen this morning. Probably talk some other things like Pepsi NA Cup, and looking ahead, of course, to the Meadowlands Pace. So we're really hoping we're going to see some a rematch, if you will, of the big guns that we saw here in the Pepsi NA Cup, and then maybe the emergence of another horse or two that was under the radar.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think we've seen, I think that NA Cup just gave us an indication of what we're going to see in that Meadowlands pace. A lot of good efforts from a lot of talented horses. And right on cue, here's James McDonald, who's, coming, getting set. And,
come on right in.
Yeah, come on right in. We're live right now, so we're ready to rumble.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's get right into it. We were just talking Pepsi NA Cup and, of course, Meadowlands pace upcoming. But, relive the Cup for us. Maybe even going into the eliminations when, before you even know you're going to pick up odds on Mr. Mamba, and then 2 weeks later you're winning with him in Canada's marquee race.
Yeah, it was pretty surreal, Greg. It was something I'd like a couple weeks before, it wasn't even on the radar. It wasn't, obviously I was hoping Sweet Love and Lou would get in and do well, but I mean, a horse like Mr. Mamba wasn't on my radar at all. I watched him race and obviously knew he was a great horse. And then even when I saw the draw, I saw they get in together, I was not expecting at all to pick the drive up. I figured they'd 10 other people that they would think of in front of me, so I was just kind of elated when I got the drive, and then it snowballed into a pretty good couple weeks.
And winning the elimination the way you did, it just had to give you so much confidence going into the final. I know when we were on the broadcast, I really thought if he's within a couple of lengths turning Verome, I just don't think anyone can hold off his late kick. And when you got that second over trip, you had to be just salivating at the top of the stretch.
Yeah, I've watched the replay a few times, and you did say that. You predicted it a couple times. So, no, he's just a great little horse, and he's got a good kick. Not just the good kick, it's the grit late. He did that in the elim and the final, even after drifting. So it was halfway down the lane, I didn't think I had Brandon Boulevard, and then it was just some crazy emotions when he finally got there, especially in such a great race, such a great finish for the fans and for just horse fans in general. So it was very exciting.
James, we've gotten the opportunity to chat over the last few years, and you kept saying, I want to knock more races off my bucket list. You've been able to do that in so many ways over the last couple of years. Have you had the time to kind of reflect and just sink in on what you've been able to accomplish in the races you've been able to knock off over the last 2-3 years?
Yeah, every now and again I think about it. I've won when those big days are coming, I'll be like, oh, I won that race. Or I was looking back at NA Cup night, I was thinking, now I've won, I think, all of the signature races that day except the good times. So it's crazy to think of, and never thought I would ever have that kind of success or that kind of trophy case, I guess. But just try and win as many as I can and try and keep knocking those signature races off.
I kind of want to tackle on the fact when Greg mentioned decision making, right? You had Sweet Love and Lou, you had odds on Mr. Mamba, but I kind of want to apply that for the 2-year-old races, because what goes into deciding who you're going to sit behind in the qualifiers? Because it's a good problem to have, but it can be a headache. Now, it's worked in your favor plenty of times, but it's worked against you, booking off some great ones. So what's that decision making like for you on a year-to-year basis?
There's a lot goes into it. I mean, you think about how they've done it, how they've qualified, how high their trainers are on them and owners, and who the connections are. There can be a ton that goes into it, but generally speaking, as Jody and my brother Mark have told me 100 times, it's like just throw the politics out and go with the best horse, because even if people are upset at the time, they usually, if you do better or if they win, then they usually say, well, I get it, it makes sense. He took that one because maybe it was a little better, or not. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but they say, well, looking back, he did what he thought was best, and usually in my case it's not what's best, but it's worked out for me a few times.
And that was good advice from Brother Mark. I think back to the year Sports Writer won. He had lost that drive going into the season, and wouldn't you know it, picks him up right before the NA Cup again, and right down the road and won. We've only got about a minute or so, and we're going to let you go. Just quick thought on some of the ones you qualified today. Unstable Genius.
Yeah, he's
looked
been
fantastic.
Awesome. Dave's been crazy high on him all winter. I trained him at the farm maybe 3 weeks ago and loved him. So sky's the limit for him. He's been awesome training down, and he showed everyone that today.
And Mascarpone, we were talking a lot about him. I didn't win this morning, but boy, he's a flashy looker. It looks like he's got the talent to go with it.
Yeah, I think I probably talked about you at the sale about that horse, Greg. He was probably the best looking horse at the sale. He was gigantic. perfect Dr. Moore horse. So he's done a great job with those big ones, and he was great today. He split through 100 miles an hour like a good horse, and then he just kind of got a little green, and we're into the wind again. So that's pretty normal this time of year.
Just want your quick thoughts on Waves of Fortune, though, James, a filly that's gone a couple of times. I think she's been super impressive. What have your impressions been with her?
She's probably been my favorite one so far, my favorite filly for sure. Tony and his crew, he's got such a great crew helping him out. Makes the horses are so smart, so well-mannered, and then, she's got a great attitude. Her gait's great, and I'm really excited to get behind her in a race.
Yeah, without a doubt, we're excited to watch her compete as well.
Thanks, James, for taking a few minutes. We'll let you go and get ready for the next drive.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right. Good luck the rest of the way today and tonight as well. King James, Pepsi North America Cup champion now added to his resume. Let's take a commercial break, and when we...
A showcase of the finest 3-year-old trotters in the nation, the Hambletonian Stakes was first contested at the Syracuse Fairgrounds in 1926.
Away from the rest of the field, it is Guy McKinney to win the first Hambletonian.
Named after Risdik's Hambletonian, the father of the American trotter. In 1981, set against the backdrop of New York City, the Meadowlands Racetrack at East Rutherford, New Jersey became the latest and longest-running host venue, the urban stage for the most memorable moments.
And he's pouring it on! Mac Lovell has won! Here's the finish! Too close to call!
Operation Hambletonian complete! It's Muscle Hill, 150-1, equaling the world record!
10 horses, $1 million, and a dream to be the best.
Back on the pace here as we welcome you back to Woodbine Mohawk Park. What an entertaining morning it's been so far. We hope you've been enjoying it wherever you are watching today on our various platforms. We should give a shout out to our producer, Curtis McDonald, working really hard today, taking a couple of hours away from the pool. He's down in the Bahamas today, so he's joining us remotely. His ace team here is holding the fort here this morning and doing a wonderful job with the coverage as always. A group of pacers here, 7 of them to go postward in this contest. And there is Mark McDonald. We talked about him a little while ago, and he's got this Son of Control the Moment, this gelded Son of Control the Moment going out for the first time. Another from the Herb Holland stable owned by JJJ Stables of Vancouver and Jim Marino. And they also bred this one, who was a Control the Moment sibling to the hard-hitting Boiling Ore, who's still out there going, trying to work his way to $1 million. And, of course, a really top local racing mare, Shoot the Whiskey.
Without a doubt. Both of them, what they have in common, though, just hard-hitting racehorses, and they put forth the gutsy efforts, and they just love to do their job. They have a lot of starts each and every year because they're just the veterans who still work at a high level.
Bulldog Express, your Post 7 starter, getting a look at him. He was a winner in 59-4 last time out. James, who just joined us a moment ago, back on board. This colt, son of Bulldog Hanover for Tony Beaton. He wasn't the fastest on his day, but he was as impressive as any to me. His physical stature and the way he did it. He's one that I've been kind of quietly anxious to see return here today. Along with Whiskey Stinger, this perfect sting colt for Blake McIntosh, the sibling to the double millionaire Desperate Man.
Yeah, no, Whiskey Stinger. I mean, probably just the first time out, last time out. I think we're going to see probably a more aggressive handling here from driver Doug McNairn. Hopefully he can show an improved effort. Again, it was a part of that free agent qualifier. We saw how dominant that free agent was last time out. And you mentioned Bulldog Express. I mean, just not the fastest, as you mentioned, but visually so impressive when he found that gap in between horses and just shot through like a rocket. I thought that was a really, really good effort, and one that I'm monitoring here to see what he can do this morning.
There's Chris Matthews, a long-time assistant in the Greg McNair stable, getting the call to drive Atlas Ross here, a first-timer. James and Elizabeth Ross of Owingham, the owners of this guy. A big Jim colt who sold in London last fall for $25,000. The Big Jim colt out of a really good producing mare. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Does nothing but produce solid racehorses, and this guy is sibling to no less than 6 $100,000 winners lifetime. Aces Wired, the one, did face the starting gate last time out, too. Was second for Team Jameson, and the Bettor's Delight colt was second, but did hook up in one of the fastest divisions. That was back on that June 4th day. In fact, hooked the fastest winner of the day, free agent who came back to win today, so gets away from him.
Great reference point, as you mentioned, right? When free agent can go back-to-back in his qualifying efforts. This is actually the lone colt that, the Jamesons purchased at the sales, so some high hopes for them. Obviously, some of them, those other colts were going a little bit higher than maybe they wanted to spend, but so far they've been really impressed with the Son of Bettor's Delight.
From a speed perspective today, 156 our fastest time. I thought we'd see something a little faster today. I did expect that we might, but nonetheless, I'm still really impressed overall with what we've seen.
I know the times can be catchy, but you and I both know, Greg, it really doesn't make a difference here in the morning. As long as the body language looks good, as long as they look professional in doing so, we know they'll save that speed for when it really counts.
The wings of the gate have opened. We'll go over to Mark McKelvey and maybe get his initial thoughts on the day so far.
Been a good day, and you can see there's definitely some of those that have returned, certainly trying to take it up a level, no doubt about it. No surprise. You want to drop some time and make things happen. That first time out could be quite the learning experience. Here we have this 11th qualifier. You see the driver change on the screen to Chris Matthews on the 2 Atlas Ross. But looking in this group, just like most of our qualifiers today, a nice mixed bag of those coming back for a second crack and those debuting. The 2, the 3, and the 6, all first-timers here in this 11th qualifier. 2-year-old pacing colts. 1 Aces Wired, Bettor's Delight colt, Carl Jamieson, Jody Jamieson. This was a Lexington Select buy for $50,000 US. 2 Atlas Ross, Big Jim colt, Greg McNair trains, Chris Matthews will drive, and this was a London Classic purchase for $25,000. 3 Wait a Moment, Control the Moment colt for Mike Timpano, J.R. Plant. Number 4 Whiskey Stinger, Perfect Sting colt, Blake McIntosh trains, Doug McNair will drive. This was a Lexington Select grad, $70,000 US. 5 Taste the Crunch, a Captain Crunch colt, once again for Blake McIntosh. Tyler Borth steers. This one went through the Harrisburg sale, $12,000 US. 6 is Big D Energy, Control the Moment gelding for Herb Holland. Mark McDonald drives homebred for JJJ Stables. And 7 is Bulldog Express, a Bulldog Hanover colt, Tony Beaton trains. The driver is James McDonald, and Bulldog Express, a Lexington Select purchase for $75,000 US. Qualifier number 11. They're all lined up, set to go. Here they come. And they're off and pacing. First one to get a call will be Whiskey Stinger, and on the outside, Bulldog Express working forward. Big D Energy could follow, but at the rail, Aces Wired holds ground. Getting ahead of a couple will be Taste the Crunch, as Atlas Ross will be second from the back, and Wait a Moment can see them all driving into the first turn. It is Whiskey Stinger, a son of Perfect Sting, a length and a half better than Bulldog Express, who got into the deuce. The opening quarter, 30-2. They'll move to the backside. Whiskey Stinger fronts them. Bulldog Express. We'll see if that one sits second. Their third is Aces Wired. 2 lengths back to Big D Energy in fourth. And Taste the Crunch is then back in fifth. 2 more lengths to Atlas Ross, who is being trailed by Wait a Moment. No change in order here. Up the backside, Whiskey Stinger. Second time out. Raced from off the pace. Kicked home 27-4 in the debut qualifier. Does the road work from Bulldog Express, getting a 2-hole ride. A minute and a fifth was the half-mile time. 29-4 in the second quarter. Whiskey Stinger, Bulldog Express wants to track closely. Aces Wired also inches in a little bit. Then going to Big D Energy, who is in fourth. Then rising back to Taste the Crunch. Couple more lengths to Atlas Ross. And 3 or so lengths back to Wait a Moment. Whiskey Stinger's going to get us to 3/4. Bulldog Express poised for the stretch drive. So too is Aces Wired. Then it's Big D Energy, and already the outside Taste the Crunch. 129-2 for 3/4. They're into the lane. green, Whiskey Stinger, trying to get away on Bulldog Express. Aces Wired stays inside. Then on the outside, that is Taste the Crunch. Atlas Ross following and looking to come through late is going to be Big D Energy. Up the rail late is Bulldog Express on Whiskey Stinger. Whiskey Stinger trying to go all the way. Whiskey Stinger will. Bulldog Express was second. There was Big D Energy coming hard at the end to finish third, and Atlas Ross was fourth, 157-1.
57-1 win time, and I think pretty well in hand for your top couple of finishers here. Whiskey Stinger, again, the brother to Desperate Man, who had the one start under his belt on June 4th, took a week off and back in action today, and had to fight off a good one in Bulldog Express toward the inside. These two sprint to the end. I think High Marks showing that little bit of resurgence at the end to get his nose to the wire first. Bulldog Express, don't take anything away from him either. We talked about it earlier. You know, they're not really taught primarily to pass on the inside. So he was pacing nice and hard through the wire as well.
Yeah, and Whiskey Stinger, kind of like his father, right? Perfect Sting, just sometimes not winning by the biggest of margins, but always just kind of fighting to the wire. And you saw that little bit of fight there by that son of Perfect Sting. And, you know, sometimes horses with the momentum up the inside, you see that they're going to get the job done. But I tell you what, that was a really nice showing by Blake McIntosh's charge. And kind of figured we were going to see a more aggressive approach in qualifier number 2. It was just okay in qualifier number 1. Today he was asked for a little bit more, and he responded nicely.
It's been another good day at the office for driver Doug McNair here this morning as well. The third place finisher, Big D Energy, sharp, eye-catching late rally from that side of control at the moment. We talked about the family there and how productive it has been. Another good-looking youngster emerging here with that one, and Atlas Ross and Chris Matthews. I'm sure they're going to be happy with that initial effort in finishing fourth in what looks like a pretty talented group. This is one of the races again where I think there's 2 or 3 that are going to emerge from this that you're going to probably hear a lot from this summer.
Yeah, I would have to agree. And I tell you what, Big D Energy making that rally to be third, but even after the wire, you could see took a little bit of time for Mark McDonald to kind of pull him up. That was a sneaky good showing there by that son of control at the moment.
And there is Atlas Ross, who completed your top 4 finishers here. He'll go back in and get his bath and back home and passing the first test of his young career this morning. Just 2 left to go here this morning on the Rookie Showcase. Back with more in a moment.
In the Gold Cup and Soccer. Hard Shark Scott Zeron in the Gold Cup and Saucer.
Join us this August on Prince Edward Island for the Gold Cup and Saucer, presented by Atlantic Lottery. Visit redshores.ca for more details.
The annual Lexington Selected Yearling Sale is the centerpiece of the Lexington experience. Located at the beautiful Face Exhibit and Sales Complex, our annual sale continues to produce multiple world champions and divisional winners year after year, including multiple recent Hambletonian Oaks, and Breeders' Crown winners. The sale coincides with Grand Circuit Racing at the Red Mile, all on the world stage. Make your plans to join us this fall and create your own Lexington experience. Monday, October 5th through Friday, October 9th.
We're in the home stretch here this morning on our final day of the Rookie Showcase, our second from last race coming up in here. And interesting race, for a variety of reasons. One of them being that 3 of the horses that we're going to see here were sold last fall at the major yearling sales under different names. Number 1, the Swooper. He was sold as Whirlwind Dave. The 2 Wheels Up was sold as Zippy Dancer, and the 7 Ordinary Superstar, one of the high-priced yearlings from our London Classic yearling sale, he was sold under the codename Jack. So the connections of 3 horses in this race, in between their sale time and here, opted to officially change their names. And I think they did a nice job. 3 kind of cool names. And something you don't see too much from time to time. There might be another horse or two that qualified this morning that did the same. But nonetheless, doesn't really matter what the name is. It's what they do on the racetrack. Ordinary Superstar, that's one that sold for a high price last year, $135,000. And we mentioned it earlier, Brian DeCuna of Power Racing. He was the big buyer at the London sale last year, former thoroughbred owner that decided he wanted to try his hand at this stage in life on the standardbred side, and he went full tilt. And the type of guy you hope has some luck this year. And Only Superstar will be out for a third qualifying try this morning. Kind of mixed results. He looked good in week one. You expected him to step forward last week. Not sure he did, though.
Yeah, no, just went a tick maybe slower in that qualifying effort, but hopefully he can go a touch faster here in qualifier number 3. But again, this is a new experience. I shouldn't say new experience, but obviously even trainer Leonard Lalonde, been around the business for a long, long time. It's been a while since he's gotten a chance to break babies and get a chance to train, some youngsters of this caliber, the way they're bred. So, everybody just getting a new experience, working together, and I think that we're going to see some good showings from these youngsters. And look, they've got the pedigree and the talent where hopefully it can all translate to success on the racetrack, and hopefully we see that here from Ordinary Superstar.
Just a couple of first-timers in the field. Wheels Up the 2 for Paul Davies. He's had a good day so far. And Chargin Chihu, the number 3, Better Than Cheddar Gray Colt, who will occupy post 3. The rest of them have all faced the starting gate at least once. Shalom Hanover from the Ian Moore stable. He'll be back today off a win last time in 57-3. This guy, Poppy Rob Hanover, sibling to a quartet that have made $350,000 plus, including the $1.1 million winning Scarlet Hanover. Call sign Maverick, intriguing. Bulldog Hanover colt here. This one was bred by Princeton Farms, not far down the highway, and another from the Dave Maneri stable. He's a sibling to Call Sign Rooster, who we saw a little bit stakes placed here. He started, I believe, in Atlantic, Canada, and made his way up here last year, and showed lots of talent.
Yeah, and the Maneri actually trained the dam, turning the table as well. So this is one that he spoke highly of when I got a chance to speak with him in April. Said that it was his favorite Ontario sired colt in Harrisburg. He felt like even in April he was ready to race against 3-year-olds. I mean, that's just what he felt about his development and his stature. But this is going to be a qualifier number 2 for him. I thought a solid showing in qualifier number 1. Let's see what he can do here this morning.
And the Swooper, another one of those horses that got the name changed. This one again selling as Whirlwind Dave at the London Classic last year for $70,000. Cattle Wash colt just makes a really nice appearance on the racetrack, and finished 5th in his debut effort, 2:01, but it was a snappy 28-4 final quarter again last week, where the wind conditions were a little bit deceptive as well. We see sometimes those 3-4 second jumps from week to week. This is one that I could see happening.
Yeah, and look at the reference point too. Yes, I Am Hanover, being a runner-up in that same qualifying effort. What was he able to do here this morning? Put forth an impressive showing in what was a really, really flashy final quarter. So we've seen a lot of horses today take steps forward from qualifier number 1, and that's typically what you want to see when you're sending out these youngsters.
All right, back over to Mr. McKelvey with the call of the 12th.
Thank you very much, Greg. Here we go. 12th qualifier. They line up. No changes. 1, the Swooper. Cattle Wash colt. Craig McNair trains. Doug McNair drives. $70,000 London Classic purchase. 2, Wheels Up and All Bets Off gelding. Trainer, driver Paul Davies. Wheels Up. A London Classic purchase for $35,000. 3 is Chargin Chihu. Better Than Cheddar colt. Gabby Sasso trains. J.R. Plant will steer. 4, Pop the Cork, American Ideal colt for Blake McIntosh, Tyler Borth driving. Lexington Select purchase, $42,000 US. 5, Shalom Hanover is a Poppy Rob Hanover colt for trainer Dr. Ian Moore. Louis Waugh is in the bike, $50,000 US purchase coming out of Harrisburg. 6, Call Sign Maverick, Bulldog Hanover gelding for Dave Maneri, James McDonald steering. This was a Harrisburg purchase for $65,000 US. And on the outside, number 7, Ordinary Superstar. Gelded son of Bulldog Hanover for Len Lalonde, Jody Jameson drives. A London Classic purchase. 6-figure yearling, $135,000. 2 and the 3, making their qualifying debut. The others back for another spin, including 7 Ordinary Superstar, a third go. Here we go, 12th qualifier. Set and they are off and pacing. And putting in some steps at the start was the 4 Pop the Cork, and charging out of there is a pumped-up Shalom Hanover to the lead. Call sign Maverick will pace strongly into second as Ordinary Superstar follows ahead into third. Then we're going back to the Swooper fourth, followed by Wheels Up, then to Chargin' Chihu, and Pop the Cork is the trailer. Some struggles into the first turn here for the 7 Ordinary Superstar. That one is going to go down into the safety lane, 28-4, so a revved up opening quarter, and that was courtesy of Shalom Hanover once again to the top again. So Shalom Hanover showing the way, and call sign Maverick trying to stick right there is 2 lengths away. Then we're about 7 lengths going back to the Swooper, who's now into third from Wheels Up, Chargin' Chihu, and then we are going back to Ordinary Superstar and Pop the Cork as we approach the midway point. 28-4 opener. Here's the half, 57-3. So that is once again 28-4. It's Shalom Hanover onto the far bend. A qualifying winner on his debut on June 12th, 57-3 mile, going all the way. Call sign Maverick, second time out for him. Finished up well in his debut, and he's getting a nice toe as they are putting up some honest fractions. The Swooper is now third and only about 6 off the top. Wheels Up is fourth, followed then fifth by Chargin' Chihu, and then back to Ordinary Superstar and Pop the Cork, 126-2. So there you go again, 28-4. We're into the lane for Shalom Hanover. Call sign Maverick is 2 lengths away. It is the Swooper in third. Outside Wheels Up fourth, and Chargin' Chihu is fifth. Shalom Hanover 16th to go. Wasn't moving much, as it will be Shalom Hanover yet again. Another qualifying score. Wins it by 2. Second was call sign Maverick. Wheels Up gets up for third. The Swooper was fourth, and it is a mile time of 1:54 flat for the Poppy Rob Hanover Colts. Shalom Hanover.
Well, there's our fastest 2-year-old in Canada so far this season, 1:54. Kind of an eye-catching win here for Shalom Hanover. Looked very good in winning in 57-3 last time out, and here he is in 1:54. Not only a flashy win time, big last quarter of 27-3 to seal the deal. Call sign Maverick followed in. He was second, a length and a half or 2 off the winner late. And there's Paul Davies again with another solid effort. Wheels Up, just kind of just bides time mid-pack. Nice closing speed at the end. So, you know, the 3 that we saw him drive today, I think just all handled perfectly this morning, and will set them up well for future success.
Very underrated morning for him, as you kind of mentioned there. And again, you don't want to have negative experiences here in the morning. You don't want them too tired. I mean, you hear a lot of horse people talking about you just want them finishing sharp, finishing with conviction, and just, you know, getting out of these qualifiers professional and just having something to look forward to. And I think what we've seen from Paul Davies and his charges today, he's got plenty to look forward to. And if they can continue to build off what they showed here this morning, I think he's got plenty of reason to be excited about. But I tell you what, Doc Moore, he talked about how he wanted to focus on OSS horses. We saw that Looker Mascarpone, put forth his first qualifying effort. How about this son of Pappy Rob Hanover? Another U.S. sired colt here that dropped even more time in his second go-around, this time with Louis-Philippe Bois. Just such a nice gait, just so quick, and he just looked so comfortable and professional here this morning.
I don't think Poppy Rob Hanover takes a backseat to anybody in terms of how his horses look on the track. They have a presence. They are flashy. They've got the gait, and this guy's the same. When he walked out of the paddock, he wasn't as big as I thought he was. And watching him last week, he had a look to him. But when he gets out there, the chest puffs out, gets a bow in his neck, and got a beautiful way of going. And he's got the talent certainly to go along with it. And he is the fastest in Canada so far, 1:54 for Shalom Hanover. And we'll see what the future holds for this guy. A bright future, it looks like, indeed. We are down to our final race of the day. We'll have a group of trotters to wrap things up, race number 13, when we come back on the Rookie Showcase.
Canada's premier yearling auction, the London Classic Yearling Sale, returns this October. Hundreds of yearlings from Canada's top breeders and major buyers, all under one roof at the JR Expo Centre. And American buyers, remember, your dollar goes further here. From the world-renowned Ontario Sire Stakes program to the Grand Circuit, London Classic graduates compete at the sport's highest level. You can't afford to miss the London Classic Yearling Sale, October 13th and 14th. For more information, visit londonclassic.ca.
And then there was one. We are down to our 13th and final race of the day. We are on the trot this time around for our finale. Shortened group here. A couple of scratches take out the 2 and the 5. Again, one last time, a big thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you so much again for supporting the Rookie Showcase this year. The importance of being able to showcase these youngsters. We heard it from David Reid of Preferred Equine, who was our special guest in our first intermission today. And, we certainly hope that the breeders, the owners, and race fans appreciate being able to get this in-depth coverage and get a real nice look at these horses for the first time. I know from our perspective, this is some of the most fun we have in covering these horses because it's all brand new. You're kind of starting from scratch, a whole new crop to look forward to. It really is exciting, and we'll see here in the finale what this day brings for these 4. Just a field of 4 here, but again, some really strong pedigree potential, especially with the one Country Cantab out of the $1 million winning Indiana Stakes Star Custom Cantab.
Yeah, this is one. Hopefully Dan Legacy can find some success here with another rookie trotter. We saw it a couple of years ago, even with You Got a Kemp, one that we saw return back to the races. He's in to go this weekend, and just such a star rookie campaign for him on the provincial circuit. Was a relatively cheap yearling as well. Was $13,000. He had a lot of success, and even off the year hiatus, he came back and is looking as good as he's ever looked. So Country Cantab, I'm sure some high hopes here for Danny Legacy. And, again, just one that doesn't get talked enough about in terms of what he does with the 2-year-olds, because he's developed a lot of good ones that weren't always in his care, but he's just got such a high success rate here, just getting them to the races and building a strong foundation into them.
Yeah, Country Cantab, we just saw him on screen. He's a big boy, too, and, he looks like he's full of himself out there. Talked about the mare, what a great one she was on the track. Pretty good producer so far, too. The third foal, Country Tab, took a quick freshman record of 57-1 on the trot, made $122,000. So this guy, $70,000 Harrisburg purchase last fall, and getting our first look at him. I like what I see on the track right now, pre-race. A couple of other ones to quickly touch on. Grand Manalishi, first-timer here. Green Manalishi from a Donato Hanover mare. Dustin Jones does the training. Tyler Jones doing the driving. And that's about as good a trotting combination as you're going to find.
Yeah, without a doubt. And they had themselves, a pretty good showing last year with some of the rookies that they sent out, right? The likes of Bingo Knight, the likes of Royal Captain, who put forward good showings, and hopefully Bingo Knight and Royal Captain can carry that on throughout their 3-year-old campaign. But anytime you associate Dustin Jones with trotters, you have to, really, really take into account, because that's a guy who merits a lot of respect with that gait.
Yeah, he's developed many world-class trotting performers. Kind of tricky for the tandem of Katie McNeil, Tyler Borth. This guy, $20,000 yearling purchase last fall out of London. He's a Trixton out of a good producing mare, some kind of special. She's produced a couple that have made $150,000 plus. Those being Some Chapter and Some Kind of Night. And a Quiddle, the last one we'll touch on, an Archangel out of a Chapter 7 mare, pardon me, please. Just $17,000 purchase in London. One that looked to be turning in a pretty good mile last time and rolled off stride late. Looks to rebound today. Down to 4 one more time, up to Mark McKelvey. Great job as always, Mark, and we'll hand it over to you for the call of the finale.
Well, thanks, guys, and nice job downstairs just outside the paddock. You mentioned it, Greg. It's always a blast this time of the year to watch the youngsters go as we find those next stars of the sport. Those 2-year-old races already picking up this weekend under the lights. Stakes action right around the corner. Sire Stakes, the Tompkin Gear Stakes as well coming up. So plenty to get excited about once they graduate from the qualifiers to pari-mutuel action. Here in our final qualifier today, we have a scratch of the 2 and the 5. Aaronwood Tritton and 5 Leno's the Man are both out. 1 is Country Cantab, a King of the North colt, and Legacy trains. James McDonald drives. Harrisburg purchase for $70,000 US. 2 is Scratch. 3 is Grand Manalishi. Green Manalishi colt for Dustin Jones. Driver Tyler Jones. 4, Kinda Tricky, Trixton colt. Tyler Borth owns and drives. Trainer Katie McNeil. This was a London Classic purchase for $20,000. And 5 is out. So that gives us the 6, Acquittal. The final one will meet today, an Archangel colt. Greg McNair trains, Doug McNair drives. $17,000 buy from the London Classic. We wrap up today's qualifying action with the 13th. A field of 4 on gate. Trotters for the last. Here they come. And the raw fan trotting, and we're going to see Grand Manalishi push in front of Country Cantab to grab the top in the early going. Acquittal will move ahead into 3rd, and Kinda Tricky gets away in 4th. So the quartet of trotters will enter the first bend. Your leader here is Grand Manalishi. Grand Manalishi by a length and a half from Country Cantab. Acquittal is 3rd, and 4th is Kinda Tricky. The opening quarter pops up on the board in 30 and 4. So it is a son of Green Manalishi, Grand Manalishi, who leads us. In second is the King of the North colt, Country Cantab. A gap of 4.5 lengths going back to the Archangel colt, Acquittal. He is the lone trotter in this group, already with qualifying experience. And then we go back to the trailer. That is Kinda Tricky, a son of Trixton. No change, up the backstretch they go. Grand Manalishi for Tyler Jones by a length and a half with Country Cantab right on his back. 1 minute and a 5th was the half-mile time. So it was 29 and 2 in the second quarter as Grand Manalishi trotting along nicely, and this is a perfect toe here for Country Cantab second. Acquittal is about 3.5 lengths off his nearest rival. Kinda Tricky's also picking it up here on the far bend. Grand Manalishi approaches 3/4. It was 30 and 4, 1 minute and a 5th, and the 3/4 time is going to pop up in 1:30 flat. So off the turn and into the stretch. A 59 and 1 middle half. We had a breaker at 3/4. That was Acquittal who went off stride. It's Grand Manalishi. Behind is Country Cantab. We'll see if that one comes off the helmet. And then we're going back to Kinda Tricky. So with a 16th to go, Country Cantab does come to the outside, but is 2.5 lengths away as Grand Manalishi with a good-looking debut will win. Grand Manalishi. Second was Country Cantab. Then it will be Kinda Tricky and Acquittal. Mile time 1:58 and 2 for Grand Manalishi to wrap up today's action.
That gets a wow from me.
Yep.
That I didn't see that coming. First timer Grand Manalishi. Really impressive here. 58 and 2. That's your fastest rookie trotter in Canada this season, I believe. And certainly in qualifying action, this guy looked ultra good. Country Cantab followed and drafted all the way. Tipped out, was going to take a shot and lost a little bit of ground. But, take nothing away from him. I'm sure the connections are very happy with him. Maybe just didn't expect this horse to step on the accelerator and have another gear in the late going like he did. That's an eye catcher to say the least.
Big time. As you mentioned, I don't think it's a negative knock on Country Cantab for not being able to gain. I think that's just the extra points for Grand Manalishi, who put forth a really, really good choice. Not even implored for more up there by Tyler Jones, just kind of sitting chilly. And this is one, I don't know what the early returns or the early impressions were with this guy, but I tell you what, the first time we got a chance to see him go charted mile, he got a wow factor for sure.
So, the preeminent trotting stallions in Canada, well represented again this morning. Green Manalishi, he's emerged the last couple of years. He's one of the premier trotting stallions, certainly in the province. Looks like he's got another stakes potential youngster going to the post here. Already seen 3 Muscle Mass offspring winning today, so the beat goes on for that veteran stallion as well. We were trying to think here as we wrap things up about our top performers maybe of the day on the trot and the pace, and I guess you'd have to say this guy easily the most impressive trotting winner of the morning session.
Absolutely. He was the most impressive. We were talking about before off camera, we thought Unstable Genius was probably the one that was the most impressive, but that's why they've still got one more to showcase these rookies, and definitely has to be number one, but Unstable Genius a close second.
And I think what surprises me is that this is his first time out.
Yep.
We just, up until now, we haven't seen anywhere close to that speed on the trotting side for first timers. So it wasn't necessarily that that he was able to go there. It's just that he was that good that quickly, and driven that way too. Just kind of went to the front, and this guy's all systems go. He is ready to drop in the box, as they say, and there's a lot of smiles there right now from the connections. Just a nice sized colt, but what a beautiful gait. Very reminiscent of his dad, Green Manalishi, and his gait was certainly one of the things that stood out with him. So yeah, let's do a quick recap here as we're back on screen and getting set to wrap things up today. Kind of your first star on the pacing and trotting side this morning. One of them's just off screen here, Doug McNair. He had a good day.
Pretty good day, pretty good night. He's trying to carry the momentum, and hopefully that momentum can carry on to tonight. Like I said, drove 5 horses last night, guided all of them to victory, and I think he's got plenty of reason to be excited as well with the talent that he was able to sit behind here tonight, especially Yes I Am Hanover, who caught our attention visually, and he was really, really sharp this morning.
Yeah, was he ever. 56, he wasn't the fastest on the pacing side, but arguably one of the 2 or 3 most impressive visually today. Team McNair, great day for them, 4 wins. It looks like Greg has a power-packed stable to go forward with this year in the 2-year-old division. And on the trotting side, Grand Manalishi there. We were going to mention Unstable Genius, vastly different win time, 2:03 and 2, but just the way he did it. Dave Maneri was here, chatted briefly with him between races, and he was beaming over the horse, and I think he said he was, if not his best, one of his very best 2-year-olds training down on the trot or the pace.
And you could see why he was his top choice at the London Classic yearling sale. There pretty good showings there this morning, and again, he just got such a nice way of going, and just a solid quality producing family as well.
For sure. So we thank you, John, for joining us again. You got a busy night tonight again, right?
Yeah, the first of 25 in the books. I've got 12 more to go here tonight, but Saturday nights are always fun here. We've got a couple of golds here. Speaking of golds, for the 3-year-old trotting filly, so it'll be a fun night of action, but we just love what we do.
Yeah.
It can be tiring, but we love it.
For sure. And you're going to be south of the border. I hear you're going to be helping out at the Meadows this year with a big broadcast there.
Yep, looking forward to that again with the Adios coming up here. So that's going to be not officially in the works just yet, but I think something that is definitely going to be happening. I hope so. The Meadows, definitely Adios Day is a big their signature day, but we've got a lot of talented colts on display as well, so it's going to be another good addition here at the Meadows, and it doesn't fall on the Hambo Oaks or Hambo Elimination Day, so I think it's going to make for an even better night.
All right, Cujo Entertainment and the PrimeTime Racing crew, they're going to be taking their show on the road to cover that event this year for the first time at the Meadows, so that is going to be a lot of fun. On Saturday, July 25th, you'll be able to tune in here on PrimeTime Racing for that coverage. And we'll be back with the National Driving Championship Final from Clinton Raceway for the first time this year, one of the most beautiful summer racetracks in Ontario. That is on Sunday, July 26th. That's going to be a busy weekend and just part of our upcoming show lineup this summer on PrimeTime TV. Hope you enjoyed the coverage today and over the last few weeks of the Rookie Showcase. We thank you so much for joining us once again. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will see you next time on PrimeTime Racing.